That's what she said.
I don't want to miss the momentum of the conversation, so I'm just gonna hit record, and we're just gonna capture whatever we capture. Kyle, I gotta say, beard game is on point tonight.
I got it cut, and I've got my hair cut and everything.
Dude, you're looking sharp.
I got wax in it, it looks good today.
What
Thank
is
you.
this, a date? I'm the one on a date here.
Dude, I
Thruple going on.
I use the beard balm.
Third wheel.
I use the Honest Amish beard balm. I order it from Amazon.
I do Honest Amish. That's hilarious. Yeah.
Good stuff.
It's great. I also recommend Viking Revolution.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, highly recommend.
See, they know their audiences. It's like Amish, Vikings.
These are people with beards.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm new to the wax. I'm new to the wax game because it's so long now. I actually do have to wax it now or balm it.
I don't really appreciate this conversation. I feel segregated.
I do too.
You guys feel?
Can you let us be white for? Can you let us be white for 1 second?
I am white. What are you talking about?
Let us be white.
White people.
I feel attacked because I can't grow mine out. So it's
you
just...
at least have something though, Jeff. I'm Portuguese and I can't grow a beard to save my goddamn life.
Dude, Jeff, are you
women? Portuguese women have so much hair on their leg. You can't grow it on your face.
Oh my gosh.
I should just wax it off and then put it on my face.
Jeff, are you a redhead or just a red beard? Because I've got red in my beard.
Just a red beard. So there's some red in my hair, but it's mostly. But when I did have hair, but it's mostly in my beard.
Gotcha.
And that's like the first thing that people notice. Like I went through the drive-thru at Raising Cane's like a few weeks ago, and they were like, "What's up? What's up, man? You're a redhead. Oh, that's cool, man." Yeah, and I'm like,
why would if anyone ever commented on my hair color at a drive-thru, I'd probably ask for their manager.
Could you get Mr. Cane's for me?
Yeah, I need to see Jim Cane's right now.
all right, Karen Neely.
Yeah.
Karen Neely.
Karen Neely. All right. Well, with that,
I prefer Kyla if I was going to be.
Kyla. Oh my God.
Okay, sorry.
Actually, no. Before we actually officially start the episode, what would be your name were you to discover that you are actually in the wrong body? You are female. You'd be Kyla, right, Kyle?
It's Kayla or Kyla. Yeah, absolutely.
Kyla. Jeff, what would you be? What would your name be?
Because I'm egotistical. I don't want to change too much. I love me too much.
Probably like Madeline. Not even fucking close. I mean, not even close. Sorry.
Not like Jenny? Something like,
I didn't mean to cut.
Madeline? Why Madeline?
I don't know.
He likes Madeleines.
I'm just making stuff up.
You wanted to use something that has none of the letters from your name.
Or Jade.
Jade. I think Jade.
From Mortal Kombat. Yes.
I think
I want to be a stripper and or assassin. One of those two.
It sounds like a stripper name to me.
Probably be Tammy, right? Tammy or something like that would be mine.
Yeah, Tammy.
Tammy number 3. Tammy number 3.
I thought you said Tandy for a second.
Dan, you can just be Danielle.
Tandy?
You don't even have to change that much.
Dude, it's Tandy. I'm changing it to Tandy.
I'll take it, Tandy.
Tandy.
Like Tandy Newton.
I want like an old lady named like Gertrude or Bernie.
Oh, I'm here for it, dude. I'm totally here for it. I'm here for it.
Yeah, Rose.
Margaret.
Margaret, yeah.
Margaret,
something like that.
You know what people don't do is they don't change their name to some, like, I think objectively ugly foreign name like Olga. You know what I mean? Like, it almost sounds like the word ugly. So, although I can only think of one famous person named Olga, and she's not ugly, but it is.
I know Olga Grugovich, the character from Metal Gear Solid.
She was in a Bond movie. Speaking of Bond,
that's the only Olga I've ever known.
Yeah, the other attractive Bond girl. Yeah.
Oh, Olga Kurylenko,
something like that.
She was in Hitman. Remember?
She was in a recent movie too that I'm not going to spoil what she was in.
She is. Oh yeah.
Was it Free Guy? Was it the opening of Free Guy? Is that what it was?
What it was?
No.
Free Guy.
Okay. All right.
She's in. You'll see her name in the credits of the movie that I'm talking about, and you'll be like, "Who's she in this?" And then when she pops up, you're like,
"Oh, that's who she is."
That's wow, she plays grandma roles now. All right, let's dive in to episode 85. I like to throw people off with a weird joke that doesn't really make sense as we start every episode. That's what we're gonna do from now on.
Dad joke?
Yeah, dad joke. My name's Tim. Here with Dan. By the way, Dan, what would your girl name be? Did you decide?
Yeah, Gertrude or Berta or something like that.
Gertrude. I like that too. Kyla. I mean,
what about Roberta?
Kyla here.
Roberta.
And Madeline Jade. That's your name.
I mean, it's better than my real name.
I love it. Yeah, we're all feeling very gender. We're all feeling very gender fluid tonight.
We really are. Yeah.
I'm definitely feeling a certain kind of fluid right now.
There's a lot of fluids going on.
There's definitely a lot of fluids going on.
So if you're listening to this, if you're not watching on YouTube, first of all, I suggest go check us out on YouTube. We could use the subscribers too, by the way. But also, so Jeff has James Bond in the background with one of the Bond girls from the newest movie. I think that there's multiple female characters in there. I think,
Yes,
but
very progressive.
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4.
So he's at the bar right now he's a third wheel basically is what we're just trying to say.
And I got the booze to match it.
Kyle just got back from a work gathering, so these two guys are both a little bit lubed up, as it were.
Yeah.
Is that fair to
I'm a
say?
little I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little sauced right now.
A little
Little
sauce.
saucy.
Sauce.
So, but
I'm
I'm over here with
celebrating.
I'm over here like
Celebrate
a real dad with my Coke Zero. I just put my kids in bed. Like this is what's happening over here right now.
Top tier dad shit right there.
Yeah,
I have
Top
some.
tier.
I have some apple cider, the superior fall flavor.
Oh,
to
is
pumpkin.
it warm or cold cider?
Is it hard
Did you,
cider?
did you hear that? Superior flavor to pumpkin. Just throwing that out there.
I agree
No,
with that.
any cider is terrible.
We all agree with that, especially
Because if you like pumpkin anything, you're basically
you have
a
good taste buds.
terrorist.
Congratulations.
You're basically a
Pat yourself on the
terrorist.
back. Your taste buds work.
You're-
Dan,
Your
that
tastes
is
are good.
Dan. That's a microaggression against Madeline. Please stop.
Okay, my
I
apologies,
will turn
Dan.
into Jade. which
um,
my alter
is
ego.
this,
It's cold. It's
Assassins.
cold.
Cold cider. Cold cider. Okay. All right. It's I don't know if it's getting cold there, but here it's getting cold. It's been down into the 30s and even
Yeah.
upper 20s a couple of nights. So starting to get that cold fall night, which I love. And
Yep.
then the still pretty decent, between 50 and 65 type
And a
range.
50 here is warm. You know what I mean?
It is,
Like,
'cause it's
and
so
50 in
dry.
Texas sucks, because it's humid. But here, like, it's nice.
Sure.
It's still t-shirt
It's-
weather
dude,
if
it's
you want
great.
to.
It's really great. When the sun's out, you wear a t-shirt. When it's not, you throw that jacket on. Dude, this is
Boom. I
this is the
love it.
best place.
We chose right, Tim.
Sure did. Yeah.
Yeah,
And now that
thank
I'm
you,
working
guys.
remotely, I actually don't have to stay here, but we like it here. I've got friends here, and I freaking love the weather and setting here. So I don't.
Yeah, that's great. Good for you guys. It's not 80 to
Let's
90
talk
degrees.
more
right
about-
now.
Can
That's
we
great.
talk more about Colorado for
Let's talk a lot about Colorado.
I mean, really, the superior place to live would be Hawaii because it's a tropical paradise. But
No, the natives will hate you, so probably not.
I
Yeah.
have heard
well, I
that-
mean, then that's ignorant of them.
I've heard that
No, it's
flying-
not.
No.
It's ignorant of us to want.
No, get off the land.
Hey, I'm not going there and being like, "Hey, I'm an American. Do what I say." Like, it's a lovely island. I love it there.
I do too. Hey, I've been to Maui, which is the vacation island.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
telling you,
Hawaii
like, when
is-
people are like, it's paradise, it literally is.
Yeah,
That's,
it literally is.
doctors fly there every month for a reason. So
Dan,
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew this, but Hawaii is part of the United States.
No, yes, I understand.
yeah.
Okay.
Tell
Alright,
Hawaii.
What I meant was the cliche American being all like American and
Yeah.
waving
They'll
my
beat you up.
flag and
They'll beat you up in a bar if you're being an asshole.
shooting my
American.
guns, drinking my beer.
Doo-doo
I just-
paper. You throw doo-doo paper at me. Sorry, that's forgetting Sir Marshall.
I was gonna say it either had to be that or 51st Dates. I don't know.
CSI psychiatrist. I'm
You know
gonna
me.
be good.
Always
are
quoting
working-
51st dates.
We're working
Yeah,
really,
you
really
s-
well
yeah.
together already. This podcast is already coming together super well. And with
It is,
that
absolutely.
spirit of cooperation, let's talk
I
about
think-
our favorite co-op game.
That is
Wow,
a
that
very
was a-
smooth transition.
Ah,
That was
like
a
that.
Wow,
half-decent segue.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, this week was one of the most anticipated co-op games, I think, of the year. It's fair to say, maybe even a few years, because it is the spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead, and that is Back 4 Blood. They even used the number 4 in there. And
Hold
so,
on. Those
yeah.
games are connected?
yeah, tell me
Oh
about
my
it.
god.
Yeah, I know.
The 4 should have told me.
What?
Yep. Jeff just had an epitome.
Yeah, or the
I-
same dev. That was a big indicator too.
Epiphany.
Epitome. I had
Jeff-
an epitome, guys.
An epitome.
I feel like
I
the
said it,
epitome.
and then I just stopped. I was like, I'm not
Oh,
going to correct it.
I thought you said
I
that
thought
on
you
purpose.
did it on purpose.
Yeah, I thought you did it on purpose.
No, I just-
You should have just went with it. You should
Yeah,
have
It
just
was
I
a
know.
went.
complete mistake.
Jeff just
all
had
right.
a part of me. He just had a part of me.
Jeff had a part of me. What? That sounds gross. All right.
Jeff had
so
a little
let's-
part of me.
we are going to talk about some of our favorite co-op games because we are going to talk about Back 4 Blood in a little bit as well, which is, by all accounts, an incredibly fun co-op game. So in the spirit of that, let's talk about some of our favorites in the past. And this can be, someone asked me, because I asked this in the group as well, someone asked me couch co-op, and I wanted to be like, well, that is
Yeah.
one way to co-op a game. I don't know
Yes.
why. Anyway, that's
Yeah,
fine.
Don't overthink it.
Wait, is
Yeah.
there a difference between couch and online? It's co-op.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just co-op.
Yeah.
Well, couch co-op is in person, split screen, or I guess if it's like a beat 'em up, then it's the same, same screen, but like,
That's fair. And so if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
want, like for me, some of these are nostalgic, so it's kind of a throwback, and some of them are more recent, and they were great for online combination. So whatever you want to do, it's fine with me.
Okay.
I don't,
Sure.
not too many crazy rules. I just wanted to have each of us come up with a ranked list of our top 3. If you've got some honorable mentions that you want to throw out there before you give your, you'll start with 3. And then we'll go to 2 and then to 1. Before we do that, feel free to throw out some honorable mentions there. But yeah, this is our Rank This segment. And we'll start with Dan. If you want to give any honorable mentions and then give us
this'll
your
be-
number 3.
This will be good. Oh boy.
Does Smash Brothers count as co? No.
It can be if you're teaming up.
Okay, so then you know what? Yeah, actually, yes, Kyle, thank you. Yeah, honestly, best memories I've ever had with anything playing like, in a room with friends would be Smash Brothers, whether it's everybody man for himself or on teams.
On Smash Brothers, right?
Yeah.
You teams,
Yeah, you
then
can
I say
basically
it counts.
Yeah, you can do like the different colors and split them up that way.
In fact, I think I played most teams, like mostly.
Yeah. And honestly, that's why you offended us the other day, Tim, because Smash Brothers is an iconic series. It's very important.
It's fine.
Yeah, I was lying in the chat. I actually lost sleep over it, and I put a hex on you. So good luck with that.
I'm gonna lose sleep tonight seeing this.
I felt it this week.
Here.
I'm sorry.
All right, so for our listeners, for anyone who knows, I did not insult Smash Brothers. I asked a question that really burned a few people in our chat, and basically here's what it was. I was making fun of the idea that Nintendo treats every Smash Brothers character announcement like it's a new game. I was making fun of that. And then I asked the question that I immediately regretted, remembering that we've got at least two people who love that game, saying, do you guys even play this? Like, why is this such a big deal? And then it was like, yes, I play it. So I was like, oh, crap.
Oh, do you guys still play Rocket League? What are you talking about?
I play it all the time. Thanks. I have a lot of friends.
So for me though, like as far as co-op and the thing with like Smash Brothers, like I love Smash Brothers. It is actually a pretty important game to me, but it's like I don't play it often because I prefer playing it in person with people. And like as we've gotten older, become adults, everyone's busy, it's harder to do. But when it happens, it's freaking fun as hell.
I completely echo Dan's statement here, especially because like even though like the ability to play online happened at some point, that's not the way you play that game.
No.
You play it in a room full of people, like I want to look at your eyes and go,
just trash talking.
Exactly. I just really ruined you. With Kirby, you should feel ashamed.
It's a good game to play when you're sauced, like Kyle is tonight.
Yeah. A little, I'm a little sauced.
By the way, I got to give you credit, Kyle. I can't tell, and we've got some friends of the show. At least they used to be. I guess they're friends of another show now, whatever. But people like Jesse White, when he gets sauced, you can tell. When John Martin gets sauced, there's no.
I handle my liquor, man. I don't know.
Dude, when John gets
these softies, I don't know.
Colorado.
When John gets drunk, he's urinating every 2 seconds. So
Well, and I'm high altitude training right now, like a Dragon Ball Z character. This stuff should be kicking me harder, but it doesn't because I'm
hyperbolic
drinking
training chamber.
Yes. All right, so Dan, was that your number 3, or is that just one you wanted to mention?
That's number 1 for sure. That's number 1. I don't have honorable mentions because like I just don't co-op a lot of unless I'm like say playing like a beat 'em up with my wife, which was going to be kind of like a tie, 4-way tie between like say Castle Crashers, Scott Pilgrim, River City Girls, which is a newer one. If you guys haven't tried that one, that one's like super underrated.
River City Girls is amazing.
It is excellent.
Okay, hang on, pause, because I feel like I said this and maybe I didn't. We're supposed to give honorable mentions and then our number 3 game.
I have your message right here. It just says top 3 co-op. Yeah, I'm literally looking at your message.
Just now, didn't I say that just now?
You did.
You might have.
Kids.
Yeah. No, you did. You specified now.
Dad, I'm a grown man. I do what I want.
That's fair enough. Hey, for those of you who are not watching on YouTube, you're just listening, we've been joined by Derek Teague. Welcome, Derek. Glad to have you here. We are going to be naming our favorite co-op games. So if you've got 3 favorites, we'll get to your number 3 right after Jeffrey. What's your number 3 favorite co-op game?
Well, I don't like people, so I just picked my favorite PvP games. So no, I'm kidding.
I was going to say I know you as a PvP player for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. That's my.
Did you know that I was about to just like that's fine. You can list those and just roll my eyes like no one's participating correctly. That's what I was about to do. So
you didn't even let me give my actual third option because you got all mad at me and you started sending me to my room. You sent me to my room, Dad.
I thought that was.
In all fairness, you're terrible. So.
No. That was just like basically just any beat 'em up game would kind of just be my second option. But my third option would be like Dead Nation or Alien Nation. Those are actually really fun. So yeah.
I'm sorry. Is your name Jeff? Could you please shut up? Go ahead.
Oh, actually, it's not. It's
Mom
Jade.
is here.
Thank you.
Okay, this
I miss you so much, man. I'm so
guys,
glad
this is the key to a good marriage and a good family is to have the mom back up the dad. So
no, that's fine. You go. Hold on. No, so he's like the deadbeat dad who went away for months, and then he comes back and he's talking shit.
Oh, you sound just like my kids. Every time I come over to their house, they go to the fridge, they open it up, and they go, "See, no milk, Dad. You never came back. You never came back,
man.
Dad."
Damn.
Wow.
That's cold.
That is very cold.
Anyway, co-op games.
Welcome
Games
to our
you play
3-hour
together
episode.
as a family.
Hey, so my number 3 is kind of a cheat, kind of like Super Smash, whatever that totally okay game is.
Average at best.
Yeah, average.
I'm gonna go changing my Super Smash Brothers shirt now because you just.
That's Kyle's response to every possible criticism of things
he has a shirt.
He wears a shirt.
I'm wearing a Star Wars shirt because Dan was being real mean earlier.
Hey, that's fine. It's a great shirt.
So my number 3 would be No Mercy, because tagging up with my brother was some of my favorite memories.
Yeah,
and, that's amazing. I never even thought about that. That's good.
We would floor the difficulty up to like expert or whatever the top one is, and we would just do a handicap match against some schlub. We would pick somebody stupid, and we would just we would try to beat the crap out of them, but when you put it on like the hardest difficulty,
it's tough.
It's actually really tough.
Dude, they amp up their specials so fast.
Oh my god, super fast. It's so stupid.
They do like 2 taunts and then they're like power bombing you. You're like, what happened?
So my number 2, I mean, I guess that would be Dan already mentioned it, Castle Crashers. A lot of fun with that one. All of these I pretty much played with either my brother or Kyle. My number 1, I guess, would be A Way Out. I was trying to think outside the box co-op.
I'm so glad you said that game because it was so like you and I had the time of our lives playing that game.
Yeah, A Way Out was just an interesting way to do co-op that I hadn't really experienced before that.
That was the last game that I played start to finish with Derek. So Derek, what are your top favorite co-op games? And we are counting stuff like Smash Brothers where you're playing against other people, but if you can team up with another human player, we'll count it as co-op. So
all right, so you want top 3, and then we're gonna do honorable mentions.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm gonna go with. That's actually hard. Let's do Twisted Metal.
Nice.
First. I have a lot of great memories with Twisted Metal. Just putting on music and then just playing with my friends. The first 2 especially, but definitely the first one. That's why. When we chat about Twisted Metal at all, I always say the first one's my favorite, even though a lot of people like the second one the most. It's just a fun co-op experience. And you can, if I remember correctly, maybe I'm not remembering correctly, but I think I am. It's kind of like Mario Kart, where you are both against each other, but you really can work together against the AI.
Yeah.
So that's how we played Twisted Metal, was we would work together against the AI, and then we would take each other out last to always advance.
Yeah.
But super fun game.
Yeah. That's classic.
Franchise.
Yep. What else you got? I like that one.
Okay. I would say next is Mario Kart. Don't really need to go into why. I literally described it in Twisted Metal. Same thing. Just a lot of great memories playing that game the same way I just said I played Twisted Metal. And then I would say number 1 would be Rocket League. It has to be Rocket League. I invested 6 years of my life. And when I say 6 years, I'm not talking like I played it once a year. Like, for a solid 6 years, I played almost every day. So
yeah, probably way more than these 2 guys play Smash, I would guess.
I'm about to go change my shirt right now. I'm literally about to go change my shirt.
Do it, Kyle. Do it.
Do I have to change my shirt?
Yeah,
actually,
I have a Smash Brothers shirt that's written in the font of Grand Theft Auto. So I'll go change it right now.
Hopefully, Grand Theft Auto 4, because we have some.
You guys get the juxtaposition, like the grossest game ever, like compared to the most wholesome game ever. It's a good shirt. It's genius.
It is.
But anyways, so Rocket League is definitely one of the best. I didn't co-op it a lot, like in the sense of co-op, but like just playing with others. Yeah. It's one of the best.
I think that goes without mention. I didn't actually say Rocket League, but yeah, definitely Rocket League. Like that was like.
If we're gonna rank it, I have to put it 1. I mean, it's the most fun I've probably had in any game ever. In fact, it's a big deal. I actually uninstalled it. I don't have it installed on any of my systems, so I have not played it in a month or so.
Pour one out to Rocket League.
You're a fake fan.
I'm finally moving on from Rocket League.
Quiet down, Jade.
Jade. Oh yeah, Derek. Before we continue, we at the beginning we picked out if we were to transition what our female names would be. So we have Jeff would be Madeline Jade, Kyle would be Kyla, obviously, or Kayla. I would become either Tammy or Tandy. I think is even better. It's a little exotic.
Tandy.
You know, Tandy. Daniel would become Gertrude. What would be your female name?
It's got to be Demi Lovato.
Wow.
Demi. Yeah.
God damn it!
I'm beginning to think this might be a tasteless bit. I don't know.
She's definitely my favorite
hang on a second.
extraterrestrial female.
I like that you wouldn't just change your first. You would change your whole name to Demi.
Yeah, the whole name is.
Demi
Okay.
Lovato.
I would probably enjoy you more as a person than her, or them. Sorry.
I mean, she's constantly offended by everything. She's great.
All right, Kai. What about you? What are your favorites?
Yeah, I got a few here. Earth Defense Force. You want to shoot bugs together. You want to live out some Starship Trooper dreams. You want to pick a co-op game that maybe not a lot of people know about, but everyone should be playing. Hundreds of levels of murdering like robots and bugs and stuff like that.
I think the best part of that game clearly is like the 20 dialogue options and just spamming the same ones.
Singing the same song, the EDF song, EDF, and then like the pledge to EDF. Like there's a lot of really good stuff there.
It's so dumb.
But also like you can like destroy buildings and they fall down in like really like bad frame rate, but like really cool designed ways. This game's a gas, man, and I don't think enough people like know about it.
Yeah.
Pick up the next one. I think a new one got announced at TGS. So like we're getting a new one soon here. I doubt the new consoles are going to make it play any better than they've ever played.
No,
this is like
that's part of the charm.
It's like Dynasty Warriors, like it never gets better, but like it's still here. This is that with bugs instead of Chinese warriors. My next one is Jeff. I'm surprised you didn't say this. Rock Band.
God.
Yeah.
Rock Band. I don't know if I've ever had more fun playing anything ever in the history of life. I was
more of a solo artist, though. You know me.
Okay. Rock Band is a good choice, though. Rock Band is good.
I have so many memories of like having drinks on a Friday and just playing song after song, switching instruments, taking turns singing and stuff like that. Like I'm talking like parties that were built literally around Rock Band. Yeah. I like Guitar Hero just fine, but like Rock Band was the thing that like really I attached my free time to.
What are your favorite songs on Rock Band?
I bought the System of a Down pack, so literally all of those.
I got that too. That was amazing. That helped me learn drums like crazy.
Tom Sawyer on drums, dude, on Expert. I'm the drummer. Like I never realized I could actually keep rhythm until I played this game, and I'm like, I never got the guitar. I never got like the bass, but like the very first time I tried the drums at the kiosk at Walmart, I was like, oh my god, I can actually do this,
I would always do Creep. Radiohead Creep was always
Creep is good. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
I do
Coheed, or the Foo Fighters.
Home.
There was a Foo Fighters. Learn to Fly.
That's my Coheed impression.
Sure.
It was good. It was good.
Yeah.
Really good.
I think Rock Band's like one of the all-time greats. I know there is one out like on new or last generation of consoles that I think is still. Jeff, do you know? Are songs still coming out? Are things still being updated?
Yeah, they're still releasing. They'll still release DLC.
It's still around if you guys want to play it. I don't have friends anymore. So
it's like impossible to buy like new instrument though, like which is a bummer.
It's like $300-400 for like a guitar now.
See, so never mind. Don't try it then, guys. And my last one is GTA Online. I don't think I've ever put more hours into a online/co-op video game ever. I never played PvP. I've never. Like I don't care about PvP in GTA, but like doing missions or heists or races and stuff together on teams and stuff like that. And GTA is one of those games where it's like, do you want to play Rocket League? You can play Rocket League in this game. Like it's just one of those things where like people just create. It's an endless bounty of missions and things to do in this game. And you can run an empire together. You can smuggle drugs. You can build an entire corporation and do mission. Like it's just, there's so much to do in these games. You can street race together and they keep on updating it. And you can jump in right now with friends and play it. I'm telling you, I must have like 1,000 hours in GTA Online. I don't play it these days, I will admit, but when it gets updated on PS5, I probably will jump right back in.
I was going to say, it sounds like you put in your time, though, so it's fine.
I did, yeah. I stopped a while ago, but
what's another 1,000 hours, Tim?
What's another
1,000 hours, Tim?
That's true. That's a good point. All right, so you guys have mentioned pretty much, we mentioned 2 of my top 3. No, actually, you mentioned all 3 of my top 3.
Oh,
I forgot.
You didn't have Sea of Thieves in your top 3.
Jeff mentioned this one. Yeah. But I put the N64, WWF, and WCW games as number 3.
Good job.
And it's just kind of all of them. Like all of them, I've always had fun playing with friends. It's fun to play against friends as well. Yeah. Like just do like a a full-on Royal Rumble and just have everyone go at it. But it's also fun to do tag teams and go through like the storyline together. Like I thought that was fun too.
Yeah.
So I love that game. And then number 2 is Rock Band, because just like Kyle said, it's one of those things where as a video game, I don't sit down in my limited free time and just sit there and go through Rock Band. But if I'm with friends or if there's a party, like, if someone's got Rock Band set up, I am there. It's like, sorry, I'm not going to be talking to anyone else unless you're on Rock Band. Like that's where I'm going to be the whole time. I love that game. So fun.
Yeah.
And I liked Guitar Hero too. That was fun, but Rock Band just took it to the next level.
Guitar Hero was the gateway. You were introduced to the mechanic through Guitar Hero.
Wasn't Rock Band created by the creators?
Well, it was Harmonix.
Guitar Hero?
It was Harmonix. It started with Guitar. It ended on Guitar Hero 2. And then 3 was somebody else. I think it was MTV or something.
Yeah.
And then Rock Band was just like Harmonix shifted over to whoever the hell.
Yeah. So really, Guitar Hero and Rock Band are made by the same people.
EA or something like that. Yeah.
EA published it. Yeah.
Guitar Hero works fine as a solo game because you actually do go through, and at the very end you do the final concert, and then someone starts yelling, they start chanting Freebird, and you have to play Freebird at the end. Like the original Guitar Hero single player experience was actually pretty great.
Yeah.
Rock Band for co-op was amazing.
Rock Band had a really good single player too, though. You could start your own career.
Yeah,
and like there would be newspaper.
They added their Rivals DLC from like a year or 2 years ago. How long ago was that? 2 years ago?
It's at least 3 years.
Yeah. So that came out. They added like a fake documentary where they had people from like the devs.
Yeah, you were telling me about this
stuff, and they were like, depending on how well you do with a song, that like the interview would change. The interviewee would change whatever they're saying. And if you were amazing all the time, then you'd become too big for your band, and you'd like branch off. Like the story would change based on how well you did.
So is that like the main version of like? Is that the newest? Like, if you're gonna buy the game, is that what you have to buy? Because I looked into it. And I was a little confused, to be honest.
I had the base Rock Band 4, and I think Rivals was like an extra 30 or something.
Okay.
I don't think it was a full game.
Okay.
But I remember at some point they said, we're done with Rock Band 4, we're selling Rivals now. And it comes with Rock Band 4 songs.
Oh, okay.
And I think they stopped. I mean, the manufacturer that made those controllers stopped. So
yeah, they stopped. So yeah,
that's
which is
why
a bummer.
$300 freaking dollars on Amazon or whatever.
Yeah, it sucks.
Well, my number 1 game has already been mentioned as well. That's Castle Crashers. That's
awesome.
That's a family favorite. Like everyone in the family has gone through that game start to finish at least once, if not multiple times. All different combinations of folks playing. Everyone loves it. Everyone has their favorite character because of the different powers they have if you level up magic and all that kind of stuff. Man, that game is awesome. And it's also infuriating. Like it can really start some legitimate fights.
It really gets hard because there's a lot of difficulties.
It gets tough, and so as you're all getting
as
you're getting frustrated together, like fights start to ensue. And I'm usually the one who's like,
it's funny. It's a funny game. Like it's very charming and
it's great.
I think Castle Crash is one of the all-time great co-op games. Yeah,
absolutely. And now it's on Switch, of course, too. And you can it's on everything. It's on everything.
It is. Yeah.
Highly recommend that game.
I'm surprised that none of us went with I held off on Sea of Thieves because I thought somebody would surely bring it up.
It was close, but I mean, I was thinking back to some of my favorite co-op experiences, and as fun as I've had in the few times I've done co-op in that game, I'm usually either teaming up with randoms or just going solo because I actually think that game gets a real bad rap for solo. I do fine solo on that game.
I do. Yeah, I played a lot of that game solo.
But I do like it. It was on my kind of short list, but didn't make the top 3. Wanted to call out a few folks from the group who gave their thoughts as well. So we've got Angela.
We don't do that here.
We've got Angela who says Little Big Planet 2, Far Cry 5. The Far Cry games are all notoriously great co-op, although I've never really gotten into them myself for that. And then Bloodborne. I didn't even think about that.
Oh, yeah.
Any of the Souls games,
Yeah.
Greg.
You're a noob.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, you never did it.
So, what happened with Sekiro that first time, there, guy?
Who carried you through Dark Souls 3?
Greg says pretty much all the Super Mario Brothers games, and he remembers playing 3D World and New Super Mario Brothers with his wife. Jonathan says Overcooked, which is a great one. Although that's another one where it's like that'll definitely start fights. It's like I said, chop the onions. It gets a little crazy.
I've never played that. That does sound.
That's one that I've never played that I always wanted to.
Oh, it's so fun. It's just really hard. It's like by the 3rd level, because it's level 1, you're like, this is great. Level 2, you're like, oh, the challenge is up, but I got this. And level 3, it's like, oh, never mind, we're screwed. Like it's not gonna.
It gets insane. It gets completely, utterly insane.
Yeah. And if you're not working together, like if you're playing with kids, for example, and then if it's one of your, for example, like maybe it's your daughter who gets easily stressed out when you're yelling to go do something, it might not go super well.
Cut the vegetables.
I said chop it. I can't put a whole onion in the soup. All right.
Like Gordon Ramsay just yelling at her, calling her
what
the
are
C
you,
word.
an idiot sandwich?
Yeah, put 2 pieces of bread on the side of your head. All right. And one that several people said, Jonathan, Josh, several others, and this is one that I had on my short list. I'm sure you guys did too, and that's Borderlands, of course.
Yeah, of course.
I played a lot of Borderlands 2 with my cousin back in the day. That was, I loved playing that co-op. That was a lot of fun.
I loved playing. I know I got a bad rap from a few people, enough people. But Division 2, I had a ton of fun with playing multiplayer.
I had a great time with Division 2.
Yeah,
we played a
co-op.
lot together.
Well, I like Division 2.
And Surgeon Simulator.
Oh my god!
Surgeon Simulator.
I think
it's the most ridiculous co-op experience ever. Especially
is that because one of you was that because you actually did surgery on a friend and you called that a co-op game? Is that what that was?
No comment.
Okay, fair enough.
Right.
Let me just
go ahead.
I was just gonna list off some of my.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I'm just gonna list them off real quick. Death Row, which I've talked about on maybe not this show, but on our previous show. Death Row is like one of my favorites of all time. Left 4 Dead, which will probably be replaced by Back 4 Blood. Halo, the whole franchise, basically. Gears of War, same thing. Destiny 2, NBA Jam, and then Borderlands franchise. Those are all the ones I can
endorse
think of.
all of those. I think all of those are great.
Like my
NBA Jam's a great pool. That's a great pool.
Yep. And Patrick throws out there It Takes Two, which is a recent game. It just came out this year, but that's
Jeff, where you at, bud?
Great.
Play this game, man.
We'll get to it.
My good friend Jake adds in Broforce. That's one that he's championed for a long time. Broforce is actually a lot of fun if you like just kind of Contra style, fast-paced, side-scrolling, shoot 'em up, and it's very, very silly. Like you're literally using John Rambo and Arnold Schwarzenegger and all kinds of different characters that they like Commando, Terminator. Like you're using those types of characters or rip-offs of those characters. It's just very silly, and it is pretty fun. I do like that one. And then Imran, who, by the way, I've known him since back in the Platinum Achievement days. So shout out to him for still being active around the group. He says Golden Axe.
Yes.
Back in the
classic. Good job, Imran. Yes, 100%.
Yeah, back in the Sega Mega Drive.
Oh, Bubble Bobble, bro. We're bringing up the old classics.
And then Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. He throws that one in there.
Okay, yeah.
Another classic.
If I have to, Diablo 3, more recently.
Dude, Streets of Rage.
Streets of Rage, any of them.
Double Dragon. Yeah.
I brought up the TMT cabinet.
Okay, so
I
had never played Streets of Rage, but we played what we thought was the original was Final Fight, and then because we played Final Fight on the Super Nintendo.
Final Fight's great.
And then I remember someone being like, "Well, that's just a ripoff of Streets of Rage," and I was like, "No, Final Fight was first," and I was totally wrong. It was Streets of Rage first. Final Fight is totally a ripoff of Streets of Rage. They were right.
Final Fight's good though. They're all a ripoff of each other. Who cares? Like, Final Fight's great.
So yeah, thank you for those who responded. A few others that haven't been mentioned that I want to say before we move into our Back 4 Blood chat, our impressions of that game so far. Donkey Kong Country, especially the original Super Nintendo trilogy. I loved playing co-op with that. It was a little more turn-based co-op, but it was still a lot of fun to each hold a controller and, go grab the barrel. I'm in the barrel. Go get the barrel. That kind of stuff. Just a lot of fun. A lot of good memories with that. Snipperclips is one that I don't think I've seen my kids laugh harder than when they've played Snipperclips. And because it's not super competitive, it's puzzle solving, and it's not super stressful. So honestly, sometimes they just like when one of them gets serious and wants to solve it, and the other one just won't stop snipping them, and it's just really funny. And so anyway, Snipperclips is very cute. Let's see, I listed Overcooked and A Way Out. Monster Hunter World especially is a great co-op experience, but all the Monster Hunter games have really cool co-op. Kyle, of course, knows that. You played through a bunch of those.
Big time, yeah. World I put a lot of time into, and that's.
And the only other one I mentioned that I didn't give enough co-op time. I played it through the solo version probably 2 or 3 times, but I didn't really do enough co-op. But I know it's amazing, and that's Portal 2. And I needed to do more of that. But Portal 2 has.
I've heard that co-op is amazing.
Yeah, some incredible puzzles that are just for multiplayer. Like it's not part of the single player experience. It's just a multiplayer experience where you have to use essentially 4 portals because now there's 2 of you. So anyway. Haven't tried it though. But there's so many good ones out there, and Back 4 Blood, of course, is one of them. So that'll shift us over into talking about the biggest release of the week, and that is Back 4 Blood. It came out on my birthday, of course, and they did that on purpose. It was either to celebrate me or Christopher Columbus. I'm not sure. One or the other.
Probably,
I don't know, Tim.
Yeah. I think you're the better choice here.
I mean, either way, they honored us with a lot of zombie killing, so I appreciate it.
We're not supposed to like Christopher anymore, right?
Are we allowed to say his name anymore?
I like the director of.
We don't celebrate that here in Colorado. So.
Hey guys, we need to have a quick check in with Demi on this one. We don't know.
Yeah, thank you for bringing up our bit. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about Back 4 Blood. Of course, it's out on Game Pass, but it's also on PC and PS5, and I think it's on last gen consoles too, right? PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah.
So you can play it just about anywhere. I think all of us have played at least a little bit of it. I think.
Yes.
So I just want to start off with. I'm going to throw it to Kyle first, and then Jeff, if you want to add on, because I know you guys talked a lot last week about how excited you were for this. So you guys give your thoughts first. Derek, and you were a big Left 4 Dead fan too, Derek, and then Dan and I also played a little bit, so we'll share our thoughts too. But Kyle and Jeff, what did you think about it so far?
I mean, I just had the time of my life playing this game. It's so much chaos, and to like make sure that 3 other people are aligned with you and dealing with said chaos. It creates more chaos because no one solves problems the same. So like it becomes kind of like a screaming match where you're like, ammo over here, zombie here. Oh, this particular monster, we call the guy with the big arm.
Army Hammer.
Who hammers people. Army Hammer, because Army Hammer eats people. And also he has a big hammer arm.
Oh yeah.
So we scream out Army Hammer whenever we see one of these guys. So we have we have names. We have names for all these guys, and like it becomes this thing of like screaming like tactics at each other, and like I know that may not sound like appealing, but like I love it. I love the chaos. Is that
actually legit though? I'm sorry, but is that legit? Like, did that really happen? Like, did he eat?
I mean,
that's
there are.
Of his, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
There are. It is a kink. Yeah, not the kink shame, but that's his thing.
I would.
I don't think that's a kink. I think that's literally
that's illegal, is what I think it is.
It's a crime.
It's a war crime. Anyways, yeah, I think there's just a lot going on in this game, and like I see a lot of articles lately that are like it's Left 4 Dead, but it doesn't have the soul of it. I don't get these, articles or these claims or whatever. I think there's a lot more going on in this game than any Left 4 Dead game. Left 4 Dead was always leave safe room, get to next safe room. And yes, that's what this is too, but in between, there are sometimes in some levels objectives or things you need to do.
Yeah.
One that's really memorable to me, and I won't spoil anything, is like something where you have to get across a bridge and onto a ferry. But there is something you have to do with that ferry, like plant bombs or do some kind of objective or whatever, that kind of switches from just running straight. Like you have to kind of run backwards and like backtrack and do things.
Okay.
And there's stuff going on. Or, hey, maybe there's a giant boss in this area, so we have to stay in this area and kind of shoot this thing. Yeah. Or maybe we have to fortify some windows, like Call of Duty zombie style, where it's like we have to control this area for a little while, for 4 minutes or whatever. So I think there's enough going on that changes the moment to moment of the gameplay that's not just point A to point B. That, like, I don't know, creates, I don't want to call it a better experience. I haven't played enough of it yet. I played hundreds of hours of Left 4 Dead. I've played maybe 10 hours of this game. So it's I'm trying to keep cool on, like, trying to call it like it's better or whatever. But there are, I think, definitely more things going on here. And I've just enjoyed it. I played with a group of people the first night. I played with Jeff the second night. We got really far. Jeff and I did with our group. I think we almost got to Act 2.
Almost Act 2, yeah.
And things just progress. Like they just get harder and harder. Every level is harder than the level you just did. It's just like it just feels like you're climbing up this mountain. And you're not getting more powerful. You're maybe drawing these cards from this deck system that's like buffing you in some ways. And maybe you have some extra attachments. Maybe you got a better gun picked up or whatever. But if you die and run out of continues, you lose all your cards and you lose all of your upgrades and stuff like that for your weapon. So like you have to kind of start from where you were with less things. It can make the game harder. Sometimes you have to go back a couple stages to kind of like beef yourself up to get to the next stage. So it kind of becomes this like song and dance of, am I strong
it's like
enough?
Returnal. I get it.
Yeah, it's a roguelike, guys. No, it's not like that.
What?
But like, it's one of those things where it's like, am I strong enough to like do this thing right now? And if I'm not, there are ways you can beef yourself up. It's just a really cool game. It's been a long time since we had a game just like this. That's like so much like Left 4 Dead. Even though they've tried so many times with Aliens Fireteam and even like Evolve, and we've been trying to like recapture this like co-op experience for a while. And their solution, the same studio, was, hey, let's do that thing again.
Just do
because
the same
that's
thing.
what we want,
Yeah.
you know. And adding the extra layers that are there, I think is it takes the distance, I think.
So Kyle's a mega Left 4 Dead fan and is loving Back 4 Blood so far. Jeff, I don't even think you played either of the Left 4 Dead games. What do you think about?
Incorrect.
Oh, you did? I thought you didn't.
Yeah. No, I've played hours of Left 4 Dead 2. Yeah.
You told me you did. My bad. All right, go ahead.
I did not tell you. You are misremembering, sir. I will leap through this
fake news.
camera.
You are fake news.
Don't speak that way in front of the lady behind you. Go ahead.
You are China.
Anna Daramoth, close your ears.
Muppet. Earmuffs.
Well, what are your thoughts, though, Jeff?
I'm touching your Jeff.
Derek,
sorry.
Derek, you're a major fan, too, so I want to hear what you think, too. So, Jeff, what do you think?
Yeah, I loved it. And Kyle mentioned right off the bat that it's just super chaotic. And that was my takeaway from the, I don't know, 2.5 hour session we did the other night. This is way more chaotic than I remember Left 4 Dead 2 being. I remember clearing rooms in Left 4 Dead 2. There's no clearing rooms in this game.
No, there were some moments in Left 4 Dead 1 and 2.
I'm killing a lot of people, but they keep coming, so let's just run to the objective. Like you're just surviving in this game. At least starting out. I mean, maybe eventually you can
limping along, really.
Maybe eventually you can get the right deck accumulated or whatever, and you can just beat the heck out of everybody and I don't know, whatever, clear every room. But it didn't feel like there was any of that in this game compared to Left 4 Dead. Maybe I'm misremembering Left 4 Dead.
There are some moments in Left 4 Dead where it's like you just need to run here, especially the first level of Left 4 Dead in the subway. It's like we just need to get out of this subway.
Or something.
But there are moments where you have to hunker down and like, hey, we need to kill everything, you know.
Yeah. I just remember clearing more rooms than that for some reason. But in this one, it felt like every level was like, we got to get the hell out of here. What are you guys doing? Let's go. Get out of here.
Which is more realistic of what we would do if we were actually being chased by zombies.
Yeah.
Right.
I mentioned
let me loot here real quick. No, there's not time for that. A hack could pop up,
Mention that.
And it's not like you clear it and then they stop coming. Like they'll keep pouring out. Like they don't.
There's no stop to them. You can't literally put your controller down and go make a sandwich. Like people
guys,
will
I found a new card.
Killing you. Yeah.
Some people will accidentally open the door and cause zombies to come in. I did that definitely wasn't me.
Jeff.
Because when you start a level, sometimes zombies will just come to the door and I'll be like, okay, I'm just gonna shoot him here. And then when I hit reload, it opens the door instead of reloads. I'm like, oh, thanks, great, thanks, game, appreciate it. I guess we're starting now.
Derek, you played a lot of Left 4 Dead. You've talked about that game a ton over the years that we've chatted about video games, and I'm just curious what you're thinking, if you've had much time to play it, and what do you think so far?
Well, I haven't played it a ton, but I played the beta, I think it was, and then I played. Now that the game's released on Game Pass, I've played about an hour. Which I was going through basically Act 1 of the campaign on Recruit. So I haven't tried it on anything above Recruit. And even Recruit, playing with just randoms is pretty difficult just because, for me, it's going to make it sound like I'm this amazing player, but the guys I got were trash. And the bots were pretty bad too. So
the bots are awful.
I literally,
hey, by the way, is
your
gamer tag Guardian by any chance? Because you're me and Dan, if that's the case. And okay.
Trash. Okay. Well, sorry.
I mean, the game auto put like bot next to you guys because they're like, that's the skill level bots. They're a bunch of bots. But I was literally the last one I was playing, they all died. Like dead, can't do anything. So I had to run, and I don't know how I survived, but I thought I was like at the end. I actually ran like a good couple of minutes, like dodging, going upstairs, like everything. And some of the zombies, they'll get you and they'll slow you down. They're on you, but I knew I couldn't shoot because even if you take out a couple, 30 that you didn't see kill you. So it's definitely chaotic. I haven't really messed with the card system too much, but I did watch IGN's review and they were like talking about how much it changes the game. In fact, the one guy, I think he used all his cards to level up his stamina. So all of his cards were stamina based, so he could just basically fly around the levels. And he was like, "That's what makes this fun, is you can do whatever you want." So when he was saying that, that turned me on to the whole card system a little bit more, because, to be honest with you, I don't really care about card games. So them introing that into this is like, I get it. It's like little RPG upgrades, but I didn't realize how many cards you could eventually, add, not just to your deck, but to your current loadout, to make it easier. Because what the IGN reviewer was saying, he's like, look, recruits, yeah, a little bit of a challenge. It's not that hard. And I would probably agree with that, with the little bit I played. But he's like, as soon as you go up one level, not the second level, not the highest level, just the middle tier, he's like, you need a solid deck, because you're going to get absolutely destroyed in like the first 15 to 20 minutes. So it shows you that there's depth to the game. Like, if all you want to do is play recruit and fly through it, cool. But if you want a challenge, then you need to really invest in these cards, and then basically your loadout for your character. So it's got some interesting things. I think, and I haven't watched any other review except IGN. So Kyle made it sound like there's not great reviews out there for this game. IGN gave it an 8, and from the little bit I've played of it, it has that Left 4 Dead vibe. We've played other games that have done what Left 4 Dead did, and they did them pretty good. But this has, I'm going to have to disagree with anybody who says that it doesn't have the soul of Left 4 Dead. That's bullshit. I feel it. Whereas the other games,
it says literal same developers.
Yeah,
so
yes,
literally the soul is there.
Like the entire vibe of like the world. Like as soon as you enter your little area and you're setting out on your journey, I'm like, am I playing Left 4 Dead right now? Like this feels like Left 4 Dead.
Really
so
does.
I feel like they nailed the tone. I feel like they nailed the gunplay. Don't even get me started on Sasan's trash opinions about the gun.
I know,
the way the
yeah.
guns
Get out of here.
Dude,
Literally, get out of here.
I think he literally does that because look at how you're reacting right now. Like he just does.
No, that's the thing. I used to think
and to
he was
say
just
that
like
the aliens
troll.
like guns are better. That's crazy to me. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle and I had fun with that game, but come on now. Come on,
dude. Those games,
like,
those guns don't even kick at all. They're.
But when it comes to games, I really think he's turned into like this snob. And as soon as he plays something, he's just like, not at my level, out. And he'll spend bucks in and play 30 minutes and be done with it. And then he'll troll you for the rest of the time. But I really do think that's his actual opinion, and he won't change it because he won't play the game anymore. But he's useless. My point is that
all right, a review of Sasan.
Yes, the game to me.
I give Sasan 6 out of 10.
It feels like this would be what Left 4 Dead 3 would be. It's what it feels like. It feels like it has the soul, it has the vibe, you feel it, it has the tone, all that. But then they're like, hey, we don't want to just release the exact same thing. Let's add some new content. Let's add something to kind of change it up a little bit without changing the game completely. And I think that's what they nailed. So
yeah, agreed.
It's good.
Yeah, I agree with that. Dan, we got to play a little bit yesterday, and I'm not a seasoned Left 4 Dead veteran. I've played it a little bit here and there, but I
literally never played it ever in my life.
So maybe that's what
gamer crap over here.
It was Dan in the chat who said
never owned an Xbox.
It was Dan, not Jeff.
I mean,
it was Dan, not Jeff.
Because you're a fake gamer.
So
so
Dan and I got to play yesterday. We played with the random. I played. I think I did 2 missions or act parts or whatever they're called.
Yeah, we were like right in the middle somewhere.
And then we played 2 or 3 together with a random player and a bot. And in general, I thought it was a lot of everything you guys are saying. I agree with. There's a lot of fun. There's lots of zombies. I love that.
Chaotic.
You don't have to be great at a first-person shooter to be successful at this, you can just kind of spray and pray and
be good at running and melee.
Be good at running and just find an opening, take some shots, and then keep moving.
There's no
Just
wrong
machete
weapon.
them and run
You
away.
want a shotgun? You want an assault
Every
rifle?
weapon
Although it was funny because like we were chatting obviously, but like I guess the Guardian could hear us. So at one point like he like typed a response to something we were saying.
Yeah,
so like he was just
headset.
hearing our shenanigans like the entire time, which was pretty funny. But
now, I wish we had thought of Army Hammer. He would have loved that. I bet.
Yes.
Oh man, yeah, you guys are brilliant for that. Kyle and his friends were already had their lingo.
Everyone, you're welcome.
Yep. But it's definitely really fun. I was a little confused with the cards at first because I was like, so are you like equipping these and how many can you equip at a time? Because like I think when I was playing the
took me a minute to figure it out.
When I was playing the beta, I think it like let me equip more cards. So then the other day when we were playing, like I think it only let me equip like one, maybe two. So I was like confused. I was like, oh, were they just kind of like letting me just throw in a bunch of cards? Like I think the beta threw me off when we actually went to go play Tim, so that's why I was a little confused with it. But it seems like basically, you're just kind of stacking buffs on top of each other. But then there's also the bad cards too, right? I forget what those are called.
So they're corrupted.
There's challenge ones and
add a challenge to the level. So that may be like we're gonna drop a boss in, and you guys are gonna get killed, or
you
we're
get a
gonna
bonus.
put fog in, or
you get a bonus for
for beating it. Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe
so
it's
that's
a speed
cool.
run. Maybe you got to get there in a certain amount of time. Like
which happened to us.
We made
like,
it with 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Oh no. I think it adds like a sense of like change. So like whenever we go back and like, or if I have to drag someone through an old level I've played a few times, like maybe there'll be a challenge that changes literally.
I thought that was pretty
level.
fun because it was our first time playing and we couldn't communicate with the other person. So I don't know if they were good at it and knew the level or not. So we didn't know the level, didn't exactly know where we were going, but we made it with 10 seconds to spare. That was pretty exciting.
Amazing.
I thought that's fun.
It's not that it's generous. It's fair. You know the time limit. Because I on my first level for a speed run I was like I don't know what we're doing and we got there in like just under a minute or something.
So maybe this is rude of me to say because again I had never played the first two Left 4 Deads, but at this point with this game being out I don't see the point of going back and playing those. Like this game obviously looks better. I feel like it's gonna run better because it's a newer game.
Nostalgia. Some of the levels.
Well, sure.
Nostalgia. Okay.
Sure.
I think knowledge.
But this just seems really fun, like a good replacement, you know?
Yeah. It is, but it's kind of like Twisted Metal. There's more current Twisted Metals, but I would still rather play the first one. Why? Because I have nostalgia not only for the characters, but also for the levels. I love the levels in the first Twisted Metal. It's the same thing with Left 4 Dead. I actually am a bigger fan of the first Left 4 Dead than the second one.
Me too. Yeah, same.
And I love the levels. Well, you have terrible taste.
No.
Jubilee or whatever your name is.
Did you say Jubilee? Did you say
Jubilee? Jubilee.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So in general, this is a game that I can say as someone who wasn't a huge Left 4 Dead fan, just because I didn't really play it enough. I liked what I played, I just didn't really get into it. I can recommend it. It's a really fun co-op, kind of mindless zombie shooter that I know the difficulty does start to ramp up, and there's plenty of upgrades you can do. I just haven't really dug into all the systems with the cards and all that. It's clear that there's a lot of game there. This is not a kind of game that you're going to pay $60 for and wonder why wasn't it 20 or free with paid DLC. Like you're getting your money's worth. There's plenty to play, especially if you have friends to play with. But I will say this, having at least one bot on the team isn't the worst thing in the world because they will automatically drop whatever ammo you need and they'll heal you.
And the difficulty drops significantly, Borderlands style, the less people that are in. So, like, if you're just doing it 2 people and 2 bots, like, the game's even easier than it was with 3 people and 1 bot. So,
yeah. I mean, it's probably the most fun with 4 people, but I just think there's an ease of it's better to ease into it with some AI help, I think, at least early on, because then you never run out of ammo. Every time I got low on ammo, the bot would run over to wherever I was and just drop a big pile of ammo right by my feet, like every time. So
I don't even have friends that do that. Okay,
I know.
So.
Yeah, no, I hoard my pouch.
I don't even know what button to hit to do that. If you want to,
can we hurry up and end this show so I can play the game?
Yes, we can do that.
You can go, please.
I'm here. We should all play after this. How about that?
Yeah. I'm going to.
Are we actually
let's play
going
again?
to?
I'm serious. I'm dead serious. Yeah.
Does it look like I'm with a woman, and does it look like I'm tired?
I don't know.
Well, you do have Back 4 Blood on the.
You're such a whore.
You get Back 4 Blood as your background. I did want to comment real quick. It's a new Game Pass game that might appeal to some folks called the Rift Breaker. It's good, but it's not amazing. So if you like strategy,
I just downloaded it, Tim. Come on.
It is good. Like, so it's got like a It's an isometric RPG action game where you can run around
really
and kind of
trust Tim's opinion.
Okay, here we go. Here we go.
I mean, come on.
So
More than yours.
It's an
if it's a 7
isometric
out of 10,
RPG
he's gonna
action
be
game
like,
where you can run
he's
around
not
and
gonna
fight
go
enemies.
game of the year.
You can explore the area. You actually build your base, so you have to collect resources to build your base, but then you also have to set up defenses because you'll have waves of attackers like defense. What would it be called? Tower defense style. So it's got a little bit of that. I think it's fun. I just don't know. Maybe I just wasn't in the mood for the tower defense elements because they do send even early on waves of enemies at you, and I was like, oh, I didn't put up enough turrets, and so I lost a bunch of buildings and got to start over. I just wasn't in the right mindset for it, but it looks really great. It plays really well. Kyle and Derek, it looks like you guys are looking at each other right now on my screen. Anyway,
they were gonna kiss.
You guys were getting
You believe this?
Do
You
it.
believe this?
Take it out. Do it.
I'm coming for you, bitch.
Like this close to each other. Okay. Anyway, speaking of Rift Break, sorry to break that. That was all right. So anyway, I do recommend giving it a shot if you've got Game Pass and if you like strategy games. It's worth giving it a shot. I don't know how in depth all the actual RPG action gets. It seems samey to me. I assume there's a lot of weapons to upgrade. You do build an armory early on, and I upgraded a weapon or two. So there's a lot of cool stuff to do there if that's your thing. So give that one a try.
The name just makes it sound kind of whatever, like the Rift Breaker. It just sounds like just such a whatever game. Like, I don't know.
When you start it up, it feels very much like, oh, they took little pieces from a bunch of different sci-fi games and shows and just like, okay, here's the story and here's what you have to do. Oh, and you're talking to AI with a little bit of an attitude. It's like, all right, I've seen all this before. It's fine. Boy, it looks really cool. The colors really pop. Like it looks really cool. The world that you're in. It's just if you don't
it's free.
Like strategy games, then that element of it will wear on you quickly. You do have to keep collecting like the resource grind in addition to being an action RPG. And so anyway, it's interesting. I will give them that. It's an interesting mix of genres. We've talked about this before. When you mix unique genres together that don't normally go together, it's worth taking a look. And it's on Game Pass, so why not? I did want to try Lumion, but I'm gonna wait for a sale. Who played Lumion?
I played that. It was dude, a sale. It's $10. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant free. But go ahead and tell me about it.
Oh, okay. You say it like an Italian? Is there is it like an Italian accent there?
There's no spoken words. It's the with the text coming across the screen. Yeah, this is like an Ori clone kind of in a way, but without the heart.
Then what's the point?
It doesn't have the soul.
It doesn't have the soul of an Ori. So there's clearly a lower budget Ori, and there's not. Ori has like a map of like you can go back and forth between your spots, and this one doesn't really have a map. It's more of a linear type of platform.
Level based. You complete a level and you're done with it.
Kind of. There are.
How do you spell this game?
Lumione. Lumi one.
Lumione.
That's it. You could say it's Italian. I would agree. I would agree with that. But they don't allude to Italian at all in the game. But there are parts in because when you finish one part of the level, you go to like a new screen, and there are some parts of the screen where you can go up instead of to the right. And if you go up, there's like a secret, and you can get a star or something.
Oh, this little guy. Okay.
Yeah, that little guy. But it's just, the mechanics of it are the same as Ori, more or less, where you have like you start with like a flying mechanic, which is kind of just a dash. Like you hold, if you're on a controller, you hold Xbox controller, you hold X, and then the direction you want to go, and he just kind of flies in that direction.
Okay. Yeah, very Ori-like then.
Yeah. So you have to kind of do that in midair and time it just perfectly, and then grab onto a wall, and figure out a way to like collect a new. There's like a bubble in the middle of the screen that you have to jump to in order to get more flying capabilities.
Okay.
So you can.
Does it feel right? Like, is it smooth? Is it tight? How is it?
It's relatively smooth actually to zip around, but it's just challenging. You'll find yourself on the same screen. Every time you get to a new screen, it's like a checkpoint. So if you die on that new screen, you're starting over at that screen.
Yeah, Ori was not that forgiving, that's for sure.
No, it's definitely more forgiving. But it's very challenging. You're going to be on the same screen for quite a while, and it makes me go, wait, how long is this game?
Yeah, I think I saw on Steam, it told me that, how it gives you updates if a friend buys a game or something. It told me that you bought it, and I was curious what you thought about it. So maybe I will give it another look. It sounds interesting.
I didn't have a whole lot of time to get into it. So this is like the first half hour, and oh my God, I probably got through like only 3 screens of platforms because it's pretty challenging. You're just going to be like stuck on the same screen for quite a bit.
Okay. Well, speaking of Metroidvania type games, I do want to mention Metroid Dread. I know we already talked about it last week. I'll do my best to keep it short.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's no combat so far in the game, so I don't know if it's...
Okay. It's just platforming so far.
So far, it's just been platforming.
That's a good note to make because I was actually expecting... I was going to ask you about combat, but I forgot. Okay. But Metroid Dread does have a lot of combat, and dude, it gets tough. I'm almost at the end of this game, even though the item count, I'm not even quite...
You're kidding me. You're almost at the end of this game?
Yeah, based on like bosses that I beat and the enemies I beat. But the item count is still less than 50%. So there's tons of secrets I haven't found.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't give you like a level or story percentage completion. It gives you items collected percentage. So I probably have a couple hours left, especially if some of these bosses are tough. Right before we started recording, I just finished. I can't even describe the boss without giving anything away. But anyway, I just finished a big, difficult boss that I probably died on 15, 16 times. You know, it's starting to get to that moment where you set it down for a second and take a breath, like, okay, all right. It's one of those.
Before you snap it in half. Like...
dude, this game is not easy, but I love it. I absolutely love it. And they actually want you to use all the skills that you unlock. Every skill you get is not just meant to open a door you couldn't open before, or now you can finally go up a wall you couldn't reach before. Like, they want you to use it in combat. They want you to use it, especially when escaping some of these enemies, which I won't tell you what their skills are, but their skill set and ability to catch you grows immensely, and it gets insane. It gets really, really tough to escape some of them. You guys are talking about being stressed with the first one. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm sitting here like, uh-oh.
Ben on Easy Allies was actually mentioning the boss fights. Like he was trying not to spoil it, but like he like was like they're insane. Like I can't even describe how insanely
so cool. They're hard, but they're so cool and they're so epic. Like there's moments where if you get the right block or the right counter, and then all of a sudden it kind of goes into sort of a quick time action sequence, but really only have to hit a couple buttons. But then I realized quickly, I can actually keep shooting during this, what looks like a cutscene. Okay. And so there's a part where you're riding on this monster, you're holding onto its head basically while it's writhing around. And so I just held the right shoulder button and started just missling it right in the face while I'm riding.
I'm getting so mad. This game sounds so cool. I'm trying.
See, that's cool because it sounds cinematic, like you're almost like you're watching a cutscene, but you're actually interacting because you're still blasting them. So
and when you're about halfway through the Emmys, there is some story stuff that unveils like, oh, all right, now I see why I'm here and why I'm desperate to not be here anymore. They do a good job with that. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting it to be, kind of like, it's Metroid. You just need to get to the thing and just destroy a big bad thing and then fly away to a new planet. And I don't know. That's just kind of what I thought. I thought they did a good job with the way they've put the lore together with this one. So if you guys get there, I think you'll like it. It's not going to win like best story. It doesn't make you feel things, but it's more like, oh, that's interesting. Now I see why Samus is in the position that she's in, and now we need to get out of here.
Not like Metroid Other M.
I don't know. That one does the backstory, right?
I don't know. A lot of people hate that one.
Never played it.
I know.
But I am absolutely loving. I mean, this game is right in that top grouping of my favorite games this year. I don't know where it's going to land when it's all said and done. I think I'm like 9 hours into it, maybe. And I know that some people have finished it in that amount of time. If you're really, really good at action platformers, I think I could see people finishing it. But I get stuck on certain sections. There's even some kind of mid-tier bosses that I died a bunch. But thankfully, they're pretty forgiving with the checkpoints. Like they'll have a save point nearby, or sometimes they'll load you right outside the door you walked in, and you can just trigger the boss fight again. So I don't find it to be punishing. It's just difficult. And so what I did was I almost started to treat it like a Souls game. I was like, okay, stop just unloading your rockets when you feel like, you can kind of do some damage. Let the pattern of the boss play out. And then they give you a clear moment in most of these where this is when you're supposed to strike or counter. And then you can just unleash damage and then just dodge for a while, use all the. So anyway, I am absolutely loving it. But dude, it is.
I can already say right now, well, I only commented in our group chat and I said that the game was gay. And at the time that
insightful.
Yeah. At the time I said that, I was in another chat and I was like, yep, I'm selling this game. Like, this was stupid. Like, Metroid's not for me. At first I thought I was going to really get into this, but this is just stupid. And then I started watching like a walkthrough, like we talked about last week. And I was like, okay, all right, let me keep playing it. And now I'm not super far into it, but I'm getting close to, I think, where the first boss is. And I watched like a guy doing a speed run. I didn't get through the whole thing. I think he beats the game in an hour and a half.
Jesus.
That first boss fight, like, definitely not gonna be able to do what that guy did. That first boss fight, watching him fight it, I was like, this is intimidating. Like when Tim's like, this game's difficult, I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to beat this game. This isn't Bloodborne. This isn't Dark Souls. This is, you got to understand as a gamer, these 2D side-scrolling games, they're not my cup of tea, first of all, but also they're just difficult for me to play when it's that type of like, when you're doing like 30 things at one time, where you have to hold down a button to aim, but now you're aiming, but you can't move, or you can move, but it throws off your aiming, and I'm like, dude, I cannot do 9 things at one time. That's my issue.
It only gets more complex, just so you know. So.
Yep, selling it tomorrow. So, but I will say this, as somebody who usually just like bashes like these side-scrolling trash games, and Metroid is, like I said, never been my thing. I do, even just only an hour in, see how this game is cool, and I can actually see why people like it. The one thing I don't like is the one-shot Emmy bull crap. Like, they can go F off. They're really annoying, and I have parried them, but I have no idea how I did it. Like, I don't even know what the timing is.
It's luck. And so my son actually showed me how to do this, which was very humbling, because I was like, yeah, parry's impossible. They give it to you at the beginning and then you can't. My son showed me how to do it. It is still luck, but there's essentially 3 to 5 options. Like, they have a pattern. The animation's different, but each animation has a possibility. The light could flash here, 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 or here. There's like a couple options and you have to hit it when it flashes. You can't wait till you see the flash or it won't work. So you have to guess. I think it's gonna flash there, and if you miss it, you miss it. It's very much a guessing game.
That's stupid. If it's a guessing game, that's dumb.
But, and I understand the frustration with it, but it doesn't bother me for 2 main reasons. Yikes. Sorry, loud motorcycle.
Excuse me.
Yeah, my bad. My bad. For 2 main reasons. The first one is that they are very forgiving with where you reset, and so I don't really mind that piece. It's not like you go way back. You start right outside the Emmy entrance door, and you can try it again. But also, I really do think those areas, although they look kind of big, you're running and jumping and flying through them. You're just trying to get through them, because you can't do anything about the Emmy until you get a special power up in each area to deal with them. So
one of them, I kept dying because I didn't know where to go, and it felt like the Ori like chase sequences, which, as a fan of Ori,
those
both
are
of them.
Yeah.
The chase sequences was actually the reason I quit the first Ori. If anybody remembers, I got like almost halfway through the first one and I quit it. And I didn't go back and beat the game until they were like, here's noob easy mode for losers like Derek who can't get through the chase sequences. So I went back and well, they're cool if you're good at them. But those, again, are those overwhelming things where I'm like, I'm being chased by something, and then I'm having to look ahead, and then I'm trying to remember.
You have to memorize a pattern. You have to memorize a pattern.
And my brain freaks out. Well, and I can, but I'm old, and I can only memorize so much. And then it gets old where I'm like, okay, I've died 50 times because I forgot part of the pattern. Right, that I remembered the previous time, but I forgot this time because I added more content in my head. So that's a lot of my issue. Like, even with Metroid, that's why I immediately was like, F this game. Because I'm like, I do not want more Emmy chase sequences. But
yeah, I think Ori's the great comparison for this game, and you just nailed it. It's because there's certain sequences, the Emmys are just like the Ori escape sequences, especially towards the end of the later parts of the game where the Emmys, they can do a lot more than they could before. So it becomes really tough. And any like one misstep and you're like, all right, I'm resetting this. Ori was the same way, especially the stupid worm from the second game that was the bane of my existence. That was the worst one. I know people talk about the tree from Ori. There's that tree escape. That one was hard, but not too bad. The worm from the second one almost made me quit the second one. I hated that escape sequence.
I just really love the music, the way it kicks, like kind of goes into.
Yeah, but then on
the
the
one of the
50th
best game scores in the last decade.
50th time through it, though, you're like, stop it, Gareth Coker, I don't care.
Your music is beautiful. Shut up.
Yeah, stop. I'm putting you on mute.
But I care about your emotions right now.
That's a good comparison. This is the kind of game that I would never expect to hit a shared list at the very, very top. I'll fight for it to be as high as I can when it comes to Game of the Year.
It's going to be in our shared list because of the year that it's been.
Because of the year that it's in, I agree with you. But it's a very niche game, and I think Derek's description of it is he's definitely not the only one who feels that way, where it's like, hey, the setting is cool, some of the weapons are cool, but you're throwing too much at me, and this is not my favorite style of game, and it's too difficult. I don't think I'm going to keep going. So I get that. I totally get it. It's not a game for everybody, but if you like action platformers and if you like a really healthy challenge that I don't think is unfair, like games like Sekiro, I know Dan, you love it, and Derek, you like it too. I think that game's a little unfairly difficult. I'll be honest with you. Like I know
I don't love the game. It's definitely I definitely agree with your.
So it was Tim who started the "we need an easy mode" or F software.
No, I don't want
Tim
an
is
easy mode for
noted
Metroid.
writer for Kotaku.
I am for Kotaku.
Listen,
hey,
as a transgender black man,
oh Jesus Christ!
I think
oh my God,
Sekiro games should have an easy mode.
I do not believe in easy mode for games where they don't create it. I just Googled this because I knew some Metroids in the past had easy. I think like Fusion maybe had a difficulty setting. This one doesn't, notably, and there's no way to make it easier. And I think that's fine. I think if it's something that you earn your way through the game, that's great. And if you don't, you don't. I feel the same way about Sekiro.
I think that's bold of Nintendo. The people who are like, hey, did you fail this level? It's okay. Let's just skip it, right?
Yes.
I mean, so like for them to like double down on this, like you just got to be good at this one. Sorry.
Yeah.
And it's selling really well, so people are
like,
showing up to be good for this game. So
yeah, it sounds like this is kind of an old school Nintendo game where it's like there was a ton of not Nintendo, but a ton of games back in the day when I was a kid. There was no way I was gonna beat them. There was no way.
I get that.
There was no patch. There was no changing the game at all. They made it a certain way. You're either good at it or you weren't, and then you had to move on. But I still would love them. Like there was still nostalgia for them. So that's why I said I think I can still appreciate Metroid. I won't fight for it. I am gonna play it. Like it's weird. For some reason, it's hooks in me enough that I'm like, I want to watch YouTube videos on it and then go play it. And the only time I get like that is when I feel challenged by something that I actually want to try. So I'm not saying I'll beat it or whatever, but I do want to at least attempt. And part of that reason is because I can actually play my Switch at work. So that's pretty much the only system right now I have time to game on. So I think there's a little bit of excitement to play something new on the Switch. But
especially that OLED.
Well, one more quick response to that before, and if anyone else has any thoughts on it too, but one more quick response to that is I do think it's got elements of old school, although the movement and the way you navigate it feels very much more like an Ori to me. It's super smooth. And by the way, later in the game, I won't spoil any of the power-ups, but later in the game, you are moving around. It feels very much like Ori. I'll just say in terms of like, I can go anywhere. Like this is awesome. They really let you power up in some cool ways, and I love it. And it's also very forgiving compared to an old school game where, like, in terms of checkpoints, at least that part's very forgiving. But yeah, you're right. Some of the difficult. It's like, sorry, this is difficult game. Sorry, you can't get past this part. Try again if you want. Like, it's not like it hits you with some kind of hint. Or some games will be like, hey, you've died a few times. Do you want to go on an easier level? Which, by the way, I hate that. I hate when a game does that because then I feel stupid. I'm like, no.
It's like, shut up.
No. I definitely cursed the game out.
I would have chosen it if come on.
So, but yeah, anybody else playing this, enjoying it, not enjoying it, mediocre? What do you think?
I haven't touched this since last week, but I know I think Kyle has put in some time into it this week. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm trying to like check the vibe on it. I don't know, like there's something just that hasn't immediately clicked with me yet, but like I know that there's going to be some good stuff on the other side of me understanding more things about this game. Because I'm used to just kind of like slowly walking around in like Metroidvanias and like checking every corner, and all these like lost in space like a-holes are following me around everywhere, and like I can't like properly explore in the ways that I like to in these games. But I know that at some point I may be able to kill them, and the whole area is kind of like now you can kind of run around, and I think that that's like the reward that I'm missing from trying so hard at this game. So I did kill my first robot guy today, and I was able to actually move around in an area for the first time in a way that I wanted to explore. And I'm like, yes, all right, this is what I've been missing.
I mean, if you guys liked Resident Evil games where you had Mr. X or Nemesis or Lady D coming after you,
do you not listen to me? That's the part of Resident Evil games that I want them to get rid of. I don't mind somebody stalking you, but you at least give me the ability to kill them.
I hear you.
That's
and I'm
why
saying
I'm
if people like
game.
that, if they like the stress of that, then this is exactly what that is. But if you hate that, like Derek says he does not like that, this is going to just stress you out. So I totally get that.
You can kill them. It's just at the end of the game you can kill
them. Dude, it's actually very similar to that Resident Evil
setup. They're very
similar. Where you have to go through areas where you need to evade and escape them because you need to get to another area of the house to unlock something. It's actually very, very similar in that.
They're very similar. That's the first thing. That's what I mean when I keep on using the term like chase mechanic. Like, these are very common mechanics like in modern games.
Although, if you do that mod in Resident Evil 8 where someone makes her hat bigger every time you see her, it takes away the scariness a little bit. Have you seen that mod? When by the end,
it's
amazing. It was the one where I think it's Mr. X was replaced with the Thomas the Train.
And oh my god,
good so that's pretty funny. So that's good. I like that one.
DC Master Race, bro.
The good news is this game isn't incredibly lengthy. Like it's not going to take.
How long the beat says 9-10 hours.
But that's if you don't count repeat tries on all the bosses, and if you really get stuck, which I've gotten stuck a couple of times and had to retrace my steps, that can frustrate folks. So this is the game that's exactly what I wanted. I love this type of game, but I understand that it's not for everybody.
It's for
I think
old
it's
people.
also it benefits, at least for me, being on the Switch, because it is easy for me to just on my phone pull up YouTube and have the walkthrough, hit play. Okay. All right. Okay, you did that? All right, got it.
Yeah. Agreed. All right. Someone finished Deathloop, right?
No, I didn't actually finish it, no.
Oh, okay.
What? So I think, Derek, you're the only other one that's actually playing that or have played it, right?
No, I played it.
Yes.
Did you? Okay.
I played it for like 2 or 3 hours. I liked it a lot. I just haven't played it since then.
Because Metroid's so much better.
It is.
It's not. All
right. So Deathloop is interesting overall. It's actually a little roguelike, a little bit. As far as like sort of like permadeath, and potentially not being able to carry items over, although there is like an in-game currency, like this essence you can absorb from random items in the environment. And then you infuse the weapons or like abilities or weapon attachments, and then you can actually keep them forever on each run. So that's pretty cool. But if you just didn't like do that, like if you were just like, I want just whatever I pick up on the go each run, you could technically play that way too. So you kind of just have that option. So I'll get the couple of cons out of the way. I haven't finished the game and they actually did just release a major patch yesterday. So hopefully it fixed it. But there was a big bug going on, and I had encountered it quite a few times, which is why I haven't finished it yet. Where when I went into the menu and then I tried to back out, it would just freeze entirely. And that's a big no-no. That's a big no-no with a game like this, because if you're an hour into your run and you found new information and a really cool weapon, and then you go into your menu, like you just lost that whole hour. And
especially a game that you need to go into the menu regularly. Yeah, that's rough.
Exactly. So hopefully that has been patched. I guess the other.
I know they patched AI too, by the way, because that was my big drawback for this game was the way that enemies behaved. But
I guess the other con, which might not necessarily be a con, is like I've mentioned this with other games. This is predominantly a stealth game, and I feel like you do kind of have to be a patient gamer with this game because there's a lot of finding information to unlock new paths and sort of new things that you need to know in order to open up the game to progress further. So if that's not something that interests you, if you just want to go around and be shooting people, that's not really what the game's about.
You still can.
No, you can, but I'm saying you're not going to beat the game unless you.
Did I get swarmed and killed early on if I try to just
shoot? Yeah,
but I know.
I stay alive, and I play it as a shooter.
But basically, early on, like dude, that second level, I think it is. I found to be impossible once I get into open firefight. I had to go hide. It was just like, maybe I just don't have good weapons yet. Maybe that's all it is.
But, I mean, potentially, yeah.
A nail gun.
I'm not saying like I'm a pro gamer, but I was actually shocked how easy it was as far as like, I was like, man, I'm taking down these enemies super fast and there's so much health everywhere. So if you do get in trouble, all you have to do is run a little bit, pick up health, and you're good. And you have like you die, but you don't die.
Yeah, you get 2 extra. You get 2 extra turns.
Exactly. So it's almost more like a Sekiro type game where it's like you're in this world and you're making your run or whatever, and then you have like you can die, but you come back, you die, you come back, and then you actually die and you start to loop over. So they give you second and third chances. So I didn't find it, again, I'm not super deep into the game, but I'm definitely not playing it stealth. Like I'll first walk in an area and I'll look around like, yeah, there's a lot of dudes here. Boom. And I'll just start shooting, and then they start kind of like walking around. Yeah. So I like it. I haven't invested a lot of time on it. Maybe if it was on the Switch, I would. But no, I mean, it's a good game though. It's one of those that
it is a good game.
I really want to beat that game. Like that one, I want to be able to say I finished it. It's not a game where I want to be like, yeah, I played it, it's good. I want to be able to, at Game of the Year time, be able to fight for the game because, you know, we need more black protagonist gamers. That's the only reason
God damn it.
It's the only reason I'm actually saying I like that game.
Tim, fire him.
I was tracking with you for so long.
All right.
Fine.
let me get back on track here. Right? So I'm gonna have to be actually a terrible human being if you try to kill them.
Yeah, I'm a terrible human being. No, I'm the terrible.
Do not kill me, please.
So I'm gonna have to be a little more specific with a certain tidbit, and to be honest, they actually kind of pretty much said this in the last few trailers of the game, anyways. And I was trying to be more vague the first time, but the game's been out for a month, so I don't give a.
Wait, you're about to spoil something?
Yeah, he's trying.
Channing Tatum.
Yes.
Shows up.
So heart. There are individuals on this island that you're on. So you're stuck on this island. You're stuck in a loop. It's a day-long loop. There are 4 sections of the day. There are 4 different locations on the island. There are 8 individuals called visionaries on the island that you have to take out. And that's how you're going to essentially escape the island. But the thing is, they know this. They're aware, obviously, because one of them is a scientist and she did something, blah, blah, blah. So basically, you have to take them all out, but they know that they cannot be taken out. So they're purposefully at different parts of the island at different parts of the day. So that's where it ties into sort of the puzzle element of the game, finding information, kind of trying. You're basically trying to force their hand by doing certain things to try to get multiple visionaries in one place at one time.
Yeah, so you can kill them before the loop is over.
Exactly, because if you kill 7 of them and you have the one left over, well, you got to do the whole loop again.
Right.
And that's where I had mentioned last time, where it's almost like a puzzle game. I'll even give a little bit of an example. I found a code for this device. One of the visionaries was doing like some sort of experiment in the middle of a field. I shut off the device. He thought it was broken, so he was bummed out. And then at nighttime, he went to the party that one of the other visionaries was having. So now both of them were at that party, so I could take them both out, take both of them out at that party.
Gotcha.
So that's cool. So that's sort of like what the loop is of the game is trying to find more information. You're going through, you're killing the people, clearing out areas so you can actually even have an easier time finding out the information that you need, kind of all the secrets and everything. So it is fun, but again, it's kind of been hindered for me because of that bug that I had.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've played 15 hours of the game. It has worked for the most part. And I have found quite a lot of stuff.
I thought that game was shorter too.
I thought it was 10 hours or something.
It might
based
be.
on Destructoid's review. They
if
were
you
like,
know what
we got
you're
through
doing
it in a breezy 10 hours. I was like, F you, Destructoid.
I think if you just mainline it and kind of know what to do, I could see that.
Yeah. I think it is one of those games where, like, if you want to beat it in 10 hours, I kind of feel like you need some guides. Because, like I said, like you're scouring the environment, but sometimes like some of the documents are literally wedged in like a corner, and you're like, all right, like. I guess I'm lucky I found that document, but like you might have missed it, and that might have been an important thing that you needed. So yeah. It is really
clear
fun.
out all the enemies. You can just walk around, do whatever the heck you want.
Exactly. So it is really fun. Just I hope that bug fixed that issue because that's like a huge hindrance with a game like this.
I actually want to play it on PC, but then I heard the PC version was having issues too. So
yeah, the patch did cover some PC stuff as well.
Yeah.
So I'll probably wait for it to go on sale, buy it on PC, and invest there, unless I get in the mood to play on PS5. But
yeah,
there's just so many games. Like I'm still wanting to play Far Cry 6. And then Back 4 Blood and Metroid is I genuinely want to play more of that. So there's just too many games.
Oh, real quick, I did try because you can actually play as Juliana. So you see Colt on pretty much a lot of the artwork. Bro. You can play as Juliana, very progressive. So you actually invade other people's games. So you can actually have it so other people invade your game, or you can turn that off so Juliana is AI controlled. But if you have it turned on where somebody can invade your game, so I've invaded a few people. I've only killed a person once just because I had shitty guns. So, but as
Castle Crashers, really, right.
As you level her up, you get better guns. So it actually is really fun too. It's just kind of a side thing. So
when Derek mentioned playing stuff on PC, waiting for Deathloop on PC, that reminded me. I did want to mention this real quick. I grabbed Horizon Zero Dawn on PC. It was on sale on CD keys for like $17.
Yeah.
Yeah, you and I had a really good conversation about that.
It is so pretty. I mean,
oh wow.
Is that an after meeting conversation?
Yeah, he sent a text to me saying Horizon is great. I just sent him a picture of my PC and said, "Bro."
Yeah. We've had a lot of good talks recently, but that was, dude, that game is absolutely stunning on PC. Like it's exciting.
What are you doing?
It's exciting to think about what it's going to look like on PS5 when it finally hits PS5. That's right. He's entertaining himself. Hey, Dan, as a dad, you will learn when a kid starts entertaining themselves, you just let them go because they're quiet. They're entertaining themselves.
It's accurate.
But real quick, Derek mentioned Far Cry 6. I am playing a lot more of that, more than anything else. That's my main game, and that's everything I want. I mean, I love open world action.
You're
games.
9 hours into Metroid, and Far Cry 6 is your main game. Yeah. Who's taking care of your children?
This never works. He never works. He works 2 hours of the day, and then he games.
That'd be great, wouldn't it? I want that job.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, it would.
I was able to take off. I had a pretty much 5.5 day weekend last weekend, so that's where I did most of this gaming, which was awesome.
Jerk.
But yeah, Far Cry 6.
A week off too.
Not really though. I was at the studio, dude. I was
okay. All right.
Anyway, Far Cry 6 is fantastic. I just got an attack rooster. It's the best game ever. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
No, hold on. It's an attack cock, Tim. All right. Let's be politically correct here.
He likes when you can take the cock and
dude, the missions
control of the cock.
The missions to get his loyalty are absolutely hilarious. Like this game, it takes the craziness of other Far Cry games, and it's so fun.
I'm just gonna throw it out there. This game is way better than 5. I'm sorry. Like 5,
more than 5.
5 was like, all right, I get it. The villain's in my face. You're trying to be intimidating. Like, you've done this for 2 other games already. Stop doing it. And in this game, they stopped doing it. So I'm already immediately invested in the story and the characters more in this one.
They also make your character
the
more
lack of respect on Nacho, the dude from Better Call Saul. Unbelievable.
But they make your character much more easy to connect with because they use your name a lot. Whichever Danny you pick, they use your name a lot. You're in the cutscenes a lot. You're actually interacting, and like there's some moments where you're like, oh, okay, like I'm a real character that lives here and grew up here.
I wish they would do like I know with the cutscenes they go to a third person point of view, so you can actually see your character and stuff like that. Yeah. But I wish they would do that more with like driving and stuff. Like you can keep the shooting and exploring as first person, but at least give me options like when I'm driving that you bounce out.
I would like that for driving and for flying. They do it when you're in your main hub. So when you get to your main base, then you have one main base in each of the areas. So there's 3 main areas. Each time you're in a base, it pulls out the third person as you run around. So you get to see your character some. But you're right. It'd be nice to have that option.
Yeah. I hate doing first person in vehicles. I am not a fan of that at all.
I'm the same way.
I agree. Speaking of which, some of the vehicles.
Therefore, unplayable. That game's unplayable.
We finally agree on something.
Yeah. All right. Before
that was like the most controversial thing we could be agreeing on.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up with some headlines, I do want to hear about. I mean, everyone's talking about Squid Game. I actually don't want to spend a lot of time on it because everyone's talking about Squid Game. But I do want to hear about No Time to Die. Let's do No Time to Die first. General thoughts on that, especially since Jeff has it in his background. So let's hear it.
So Anna de Armas is in it.
I don't know.
We got it. She's beautiful.
The humanity.
Okay.
Can you move your hand?
And then and this guy's in it too. So she's in it for like 5 minutes. So don't get your pants too tight.
Yeah, that's weird.
She's great though. She's fantastic in her role. But so I don't know if this is. I don't think this is a popular opinion, but I felt like when this movie ended, I was like, oh, that's my favorite Daniel Craig James Bond movie. Like that was my immediate feeling with this movie.
Nice.
And then it was after the fact that many people were online going, there are some things that didn't add up with this movie, and I'm like, crap, I messed up again.
No, Jeff, you didn't, because people do that with movies all the time. It's like
you guys tried to do that. You guys tried to do that to me with Skyfall, and I won't let you do it. I loved that movie every time I've seen it.
I like it a little more than Kyle did. But there's still some stupid crap that happens in that movie.
You know what? I abstain from having a tangent about this movie right now.
This is the longest.
Tim loves it, and I'm not going to take that away from him.
Thank you.
It is the longest, and I definitely felt the runtime. Like I ordered, I was at the Draft House for the first time in since the pandemic. They finally reopened here like 2-3 weeks ago. And I even ordered 2 meals. No, it's not. It was like 2 appetizers, but for just me. And I was
2 steaks.
It was that long of a movie where I was like, I think I can get away with ordering more food. So I definitely felt the length, but it earned it. Like I didn't feel like there were any wasted story beats where like I was like, you could have cut that out.
Oh, that's awesome. That's good.
So I felt like it earned that length, and it was just such an epic send off for.
So they haven't shown a lot of Mr. Robot in the trailers. Was he a good villain or?
He was all right.
Nope. Yeah. I don't. Nope. There was too much of a pause.
He was all right. I mean, he wasn't
too much of a pause.
There was.
He wasn't really the reason that I liked the movie so much.
Too much of a pause.
Okay.
Yeah.
I honestly can't even point to. Maybe Javier Bardem was great. Mads was all right, but even he was flip-flopping between himself and Mr.
They've all been a little bit underutilized when you look at the abilities that they bring to the table. They're all a little underutilized.
Now Batista.
Javier, the guy who doesn't say anything except shit at the end before he dies. Yeah, that's a great role. He goes, shit, and then he dies or whatever. Spoilers on Spectre. That movie sucks anyway. All right, yeah,
it's important to this movie though.
This movie does double down on the Spectre. So if you didn't like Spectre, and I didn't, I felt like this one managed to do with the Spectre material at least a respectable job. At least it did a good job with the. It was just rough around the edges.
Well, there are ties to Spectre directly. There's characters.
Yes, absolutely, it picks up right where it left off.
Yeah.
Well, I love that your immediate reaction was, "This might be my favorite one." That tells me that it's good, even if it doesn't end up being like the best one. That gives me really a lot of hope that I'm going to enjoy it a lot.
Honestly, it might be my favorite one, especially because the opening action sequence is like just tops. It's like you. As soon as the open action sequence ends, and then it goes to the opening credits of that, I love the song, dude. I love the Billie Eilish song so much. So when that came on after the epic opening action sequence, I was like, I think I'm gonna love this movie. I think that's what's gonna happen because the action sequence is so good.
Just to the main James Bond theme, like just a classic, right? Like just the main James Bond theme.
And dude, Hans Zimmer is the one doing the score, so
yes.
He wears this score so well. And if you've heard his scores before with Interstellar and all that stuff, like he's all about the big.
Man of Steel, right? Did he do Man of Steel?
Yes.
Oh my god, I love this. Oh my god, dude,
Man of Steel. He loves French horns. So like he attacked that, like he loved. Yeah. The way he tackled it was just so. It gave me chills in the theaters. Like,
dude, you're getting me hyped to see this. I'm excited to watch.
And then when he implemented the song "No Time to Die," where it's like da 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 da. He made that the theme for like him for Bond and the French scientist, whatever the hell.
I do like the Billie Eilish song. I wish she had, not slept through most of the song except for that one note. Otherwise, that's how all her songs are. So I'm kidding.
Billie Eilish.
Yeah, I'm totally kidding.
Billie Eilish.
Well, dude, that's a good review.
I freaking love her, like her record. So I don't know, man. I can't agree with that.
I don't care about Billie Eilish.
I was kidding.
Whatever, dude. Get up. Whatever. You hate her.
Don't joke about Billie.
You're not progressive right now.
Do not joke about Billie.
Demi would really
stop picking on this child.
Demi might agree because
Kyle,
probably...
can we check in with Demi real quick? What does Demi think about my comment?
Hold on. Excuse. Oh, she's not available. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know.
Sorry.
We can't move forward with that. We can't move forward with that opinion. She's chatting with extraterrestrials, not aliens.
Extraterrestrials.
Yes.
Well, I think I remember reading somewhere that Phoebe Waller-Bridge kind of did a punch up of the script, and
I heard that
she created Fleabag, which I've watched that show twice. It show's freaking hilarious, and she I think she had a hand in this girl's character. Because when you cast Ana de Armas in a thing, I mean, unless you've seen Knives Out, if you've seen her outside of Knives Out, she's just cast as like the hot chick, you know? Mm. So in this, yes, she's in a hot dress and everything, but she's such a like over-eager dork. And it's like such a refreshing take on a Bond character.
Oh, nice.
A Bond girl, especially. But she's such a badass too at the same time. She's still doing cool things. I'm telling you, the action in this is just...
Yeah.
It doesn't compare. It felt like I was watching a Christopher Nolan Bond movie, even though it had nothing to do with this movie.
Finally.
You can tell even from like Daniel Craig's enthusiasm of like talking about this movie compared to the last one. Because the last one he was like, I'm effing done. Like,
I'm done. And he literally said you would have to break my fingers to play the role again. Literally what he said.
So he's like way more enthusiastic this time around.
And it shows in this movie too, in the script, he's much funnier. It feels like he's just in the role.
Having fun.
Yeah, and you're talking about like the action being so good, and I know this is the guy who did True Detective season 1, and I think about that one episode of that like one take action sequence.
Dude,
and
the long shot was amazing.
This guy is the guy who could pull off like this kind of action that like you're literally describing right now.
Dude,
so it's like,
Kyle, I'm so
it's unreal, dude.
You're not saying things that like I'm like, well, this is I don't know. Man.
There's an action sequence in the forest that
like,
makes
no, I totally believe you.
There's an action sequence in the forest that makes you go, yeah, bro, dude. Like it just makes it's so freaking cool.
If you're listening and have not or watching and you have not seen True Detective, that's fine. It might not be the show for you. I love the first season, by the way. But there's an episode where they need to go extract a certain character out of this incredibly dangerous area, and it's all done with one long take. And they're
going through various houses together with the camera.
Is one of the greatest orchestrated shots in the history of shooting things on camera.
I'd be shocked if they don't use it in classrooms all the time right now.
Oh, man. Yeah. It's electrifying.
I watched that show and I don't remember what y'all are talking about.
Because time is a flat circle. That's right.
That's because time's a flat circle.
You'll experience it again and again and again.
All right.
All right, well, we do need to get to some headlines to close this out, but does anyone want to give their quick... I mean, everyone by this point in the world knows at least a little bit about Squid Game, but anyone want to give their thoughts on Squid Game?
I really don't know what that is.
Just watch it.
It's great. It's a Korean show.
It's like a battle royale.
Like, whatever you think it is, it's actually 10 times more emotional than that. Whatever you're thinking right now, it's more emotional than...
There's an episode, episode 6 or 7 that's involving...
I'm thinking, bro. Right. That's on.
But there's an episode involving a marble game, and that's one of the most brutal episodes of any TV show I've ever seen in my life.
It might be the most...
It's just devastating. It's so freaking good.
Okay.
Horrifyingly emotional.
Not one to watch with the young kiddos, it sounds like.
No, not watch it with the kiddos.
But speaking of watching stuff with kiddos, we are starting with Iron Man 1. We're actually on Iron Man 2 now. We're going through phase 1 of Marvel. Because 3 of my youngest haven't seen, I think they've seen one Avengers movie and maybe a Spider-Man, but they're like, I want to watch all the Marvel movies. So I was like, great, let's start at the beginning.
Yeah,
settle in.
Awesome.
Let's do this. So I'm having a lot of fun with that. And it's one of those things where I can take off the hat of like, well, let me criticize this. No, I'm just having fun because the kids, they're like, oh, Whiplash is so cool. And I just had to let go of everything and go, that is, if I'm a kid,
why not?
That is kind of cool.
I'm still a I'm still a little curious what their take on the Dark World would be, but we'll find
out. That's the true test.
Hey, the elves look cool. The elves look cool.
If I love my kids or not, if they like Dark World, we'll find out.
If they like the Portal stuff, which is the thing I took away from that movie, was
when the movie
really
ended,
fun.
I go, the Portal stuff was great.
All it does is just advances the MCU a little bit. It doesn't really do much.
A tiny
maybe
bit.
A hair. Maybe a
hair.
little
bit. And there's some cool throwbacks in Endgame to it. But anyway, all right. So let's talk about some news, and then we'll close this thing out.
Super important news.
Some of you are going to go play Back 4 Blood. I'm probably going to go play more Metroid because I'm almost done, and I really want to finish that game. But guys, PETA, we need to take this seriously. Let's take a moment.
No.
Real serious here.
Moment of silence for all the cocks that died.
Actually, Dan, could you give us the hashtag for this before I give? What's the hashtag we're going with?
Yeah, let me just pull that up here. It's hashtag Cock Lives Matter.
Thank you. You're welcome. Yes.
Is that real?
Because PETA hates the cockfighting minigame in Far Cry 6. They have put out all kinds of requests for Ubisoft to completely remove it from the game because it's so evil. And I wish, what's funny? Like, they didn't request every country that's ever done it or currently does it to remove it from existence. They just want Ubisoft to take it out of its game.
Yeah, take it out of a video game.
It's fine.
The video game's an endorsement, Tim.
I thought it was interesting. They had no official comment. They had no official comment on the, I'm going to say, roughly 800 humans I've killed so far in that game. So that's interesting. That's fine. You can virtually do that, but you cannot have a very clearly fake Mortal Kombat style battle between roosters that don't even look close to real. Like, it's
roosters don't even look like that.
Silly. So silly.
Hey, bro. What are you saying about cocks right now?
I'm just saying, like, they're cartoonish.
Some of them are extra fluffy, and some of them
stop insulting the appearances of cocks. All right.
If these two cocks want to go at it, let them. That's all.
I'm not trying to get in between two cocks.
Sometimes
right
they
now,
get on top of each other. It's almost like
cock.
they're docking. Like they're docking. The cocks are docking.
I have never been more turned on in my life.
Do you guys remember that episode of The Office when
sausage
Dwight is
fest.
asking about how gay guys do it?
Yeah,
He's like, does one penis open up to accept
the other? Do they twist and turn into each other like the snakes on the medical bracelet? Like,
did Rainn Wilson improv some of that, or was that all written?
I think that whole thing was improv. Yeah, that whole part was improv.
You could tell he's trying not to laugh, but anyway.
Why? I don't understand why we're like this. I don't understand why this is a thing. I don't get why.
Because PETA's bored.
All we do. We move from one stupid thing that we want to cancel or eliminate to the next. Like it's non-stop.
Have you met
PETA? There must be like
bro?
an endorphin that releases whenever you like virtual signal. I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Kyle, I think you're being sarcastic, but I think
no, I'm not being sarcastic. I think it's really neurochemistry, and I think some people in general get a massive endorphin drop from like correcting somebody or like or like trying to cancel something and winning in a virtuous fight against like some metaphorical subjective evil.
Well, it's like when somebody does something that's definitely like not okay, and like you tell them no, and it's almost like they turn into a child and they start throwing a fit and they're like and they just refuse.
That has not happened in the last year and a half at all. 10 months.
But I'm saying it's like that, right? Where it's like people turn into a child, a grown ass adult turns into a child and just refuses to like just accept
anything. When are we going to realize that adults don't exist? Like, come on. If you go around and actually have conversations with 99, I would say out of all the people you have a conversation with, you'll walk away going 90% of them are not very adult. Like they're very childlike.
If you talk to them online, I agree with you. If you talk to them in person, I don't agree with you. I think most people are pretty normal when you talk to them in person, but I could be wrong on that.
Yeah. No,
there's something about face-to-face.
There's a projection when you're on social media of like,
when you're writing an article.
I'm telling you what I believe, but like I'm being even more upfront about it and more aggressive.
Than I ever would be. Like,
if
we were
it's the anonymity.
The power behind the keyboard. I mean, not for me. I'm not anonymous on there. I want people to listen to my music and stuff. But it's
like beyond the anonymity. Now people put their name on it and now are saying crazy stuff. So it used to be anonymous. Now it's like no.
I still think there's safety behind a glass. The screen.
But if you're in person, I swear, I was told by the guy I'm working with on my music. I was told by him that a mutual friend of ours was a certain way politically. Like you're gonna struggle to talk to him. Like he just believes all this crazy stuff. And then I talked to him later at a birthday party, and he's just a totally normal dude, and we're having like totally frank conversations about stuff. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah. So like, my best friend. All right, she's not so bad now, but she was like full on libtard. Like before her and I were like best friends. And I'm not, everybody thinks I'm like hardcore Republican. I'm not. I just hate stupid people, and I think that most stupid people are libtards. That's just my opinion. So when her and I started getting to know each other, we started realizing we could actually not just have conversations like Jeff's like, hey, he's a normal dude. But as you go into like those political conversations, that's when it can get more heated. Her and I are capable of sitting down and having a conversation and both disagreeing, but still seeing each other's point of view and not like freaking out like, what? You are the worst. None of that. It's just well, I get what you're saying, but I don't see it that way, and here's why. And then that's all you do. You have that conversation, and then you walk away from it. We live in a society, and no, I don't think it's just online. Yes, it is worse. I agree with Tim as far as, yes, people are way worse online. Yep. But even in person, there are still people that struggle with, if you stand for something. The only reason why they're better in person is they won't have these conversations. But if you're actually having these political conversations in person, there are still a lot of people that cannot handle finding the middle ground. They will push people out of their lives. They will bash them. They will talk behind their back just simply because you don't agree on something. And it's not just politics. That's the most popular thing. But anything. Politics are just more divisive.
It's more like what has become politicized that people have disagreed with. And like, I mean, it's caused a rift in my family for sure because of
Same here.
What's become politicized, even though it shouldn't be politics.
But Derek, I follow your point where you're saying like whether it's PETA or some sort of author from Vice or whoever it is, they have an issue that they feel like is the most important thing at the moment. And they make, it's not just a thing where they put out their opinion, they're calling for others to be dragged down. That's where I think it's turned a corner, because I'm all for someone writing on behalf of roosters in the world saying this isn't right, we shouldn't do this. You should write that piece if you feel that.
My neighbor's a rooster, okay? And
do you know any roosters in real life? So I feel like that's okay to write that and hold that opinion. I totally think that's fine. But now that they're calling that this should happen, they want people to be removed from jobs if they don't do it. Like, it's crazy. It's the same thing with Dave Chappelle's special. And we don't have to get into this too deep, but it's the same thing where it's like, he put out a special. He knew what he was doing. He knew he would rile some folks up, especially folks who don't actually pay attention and listen to the whole thing, by the way. If you don't actually listen to what he's saying, you totally miss the point and you get mad. That's what a lot of people did. So anyway.
There's a lot of liberals struggling with that. Chappelle is very black.
Dude, did you know that in that special,
they're like trying to figure out what button they push.
Did you know
it's like that guy sweating meme?
Where the guy sweating,
Dude, in that special, he made fun very blatantly of white people a lot, of Christians, and he made a bunch of jokes about that and about some sexual stuff that was like, I kind of chuckled at, even though I was shaking my head like, oh, geez, this again. But I hear that. Oh, and the Jews, he went after them a little bit. Listen.
Did he? I don't remember any of the stuff you're talking about. I remember one topic that he talked about.
He covered that one. He covered that one, a majority of it. But his point, that he was making was...
No, I got his point, and I actually agree with what you're saying about it.
I think he was actually saying, we're more allied than you think. Let's joke. We can joke about this together, but I'm actually on your side. And people didn't get that. They only heard the jokes that were taking shots at. So all that to say, people get a platform. And whether it's PETA or whoever it is, it's hard for me not to. I used to just shrug it off like, these crazies. The problem is the small, loud voices get things to change, and so I'm a little nervous if this kind of if Ubisoft comes out and says we're updating the game to remove this,
that's never gonna happen.
They better not.
PETA is the redheaded stepchild of movements. So
nobody.
I don't know if you remember this from last year when there were protests going on, and PETA tried to equate animal rights to what people were protesting about, and that's when everybody dogpiled on PETA. And like, all right, so we're
all united against PETA. All right,
PETA is literally ran by that dog that's at the computer. Is like, I have no idea what's going on.
PETA picked the fight with like Pokemon. They were like, we shouldn't be having these fictional monsters fighting each other. And it's like, Like
PETA
no one
is really,
no one
PETA
takes
is
PETA
really
seriously.
stupid that even the stupid people don't follow PETA.
Yeah.
All right, well, this was your political corner with the current gen folks. There you go. I know you guys.
Respectful political corner. This is how you do it, people.
Oh, by the way, just real quick on because Derek was describing,
James
hey, here's what a conversation can look like between two people who are respectful and disagree, and I love that because it doesn't happen very often. I have to actually give a shout out to two people who I think are on very opposite. They're very public figures on the left and on the right. When I hear Ben Shapiro talk, I sometimes agree and sometimes roll my eyes. When I hear anyone from the Young Turks talk, I usually just roll my eyes. But Anna Kasparian from the Young Turks and Ben Shapiro actually sat down in person in front of a live audience. I don't know if you guys saw this. It was like an hour-long discussion/debate. They had a moderator.
I did not know about this.
It was really good. They were both really well spoken. I feel like there's a few things she said that I was like, dude, that's a good point. I actually kind of agree with what she's saying. Same thing with Ben Shapiro. And sometimes both of them said stuff that I was like, yeah, that's pretty dumb. All that to say, it was cool to see that happen because those two people come to mind as folks who I would think of. Yeah, they don't really want to talk to the other side, and they did, and it was kind of awesome. So,
I think the main takeaway that you just said is sometimes they both say things, and you're like, that's both of you are dumb.
Yeah.
It's almost like no solution is binary, and we should stop treating it like that.
Almost like red versus blue.
Almost
really
like we're in a fallacy right now. Political system.
It's like tribalism is still alive and well.
Yeah.
Did you say phallic?
He did. Yeah.
I couldn't say both things.
Let's bring it back to fun stuff. Star Wars might be getting another video game. Disney and Lucasfilm have teased a new game announcement that's going to be apparently talked about on December 14th.
Yeah.
This is part of this publishing campaign that's going to reveal new products every Tuesday for the rest of this year, which is kind of cool that they're doing that.
So they actually did an image that accompanied the date of the next coming Tuesday that they're going to announce something, and for the date of December 14th, it had a picture of a game a game controller basically.
Yeah.
And that's where people were kind of going, oh, they're teasing a game here, are they? Or
is it
watch it be some crappy mobile game that nobody wants to play, but
yeah, or it could be something we already know about, right? It could be, who knows?
Could be. Yeah.
When it comes to Star Wars games, there's really two that I am super hyped to find out more about and have officially told here's when it's going to come out. That's the Ubisoft game and Jedi Fallen Order 2. Those are the two.
Thank you. Fallen Order 2 is where I was at.
I'm waiting for Dragon Age 4.
Okay, speaking of Dragon Age 4, it is
good segue. Good accidental segue.
It's reportedly only coming to next-gen platforms, not PC, which is hilarious that they have to say this because I'm like, yeah, because this game's not coming out till 2027.
Yeah,
why would they put it out?
It seems like nowhere near created, so...
Why would they put it out here?
Remember, when a year ago, it was like a games of service game, and they're like, nah.
But dude, there are people.
Yeah, this game hasn't even been conceptualized yet. That's how far along this game is.
Go to any Facebook post or even Twitter, I'm sure, of Game Informer or IGN or Kotaku, talking about something that's only on PS5 or whatever. And there's always the people oh, well, I mean, I would be more excited for this if I had a PS5. Oh, the scalpers are still scalping. It's like, no one cares, random person on the internet. Shut up. You'll get one eventually.
It is getting to the point now where, and I think I saw our old buddy Frank Clark say this, and I actually agree with him because Kyle, you and I, and Jeff, I think too, we all struggled to find one for a little while. We eventually did.
I think I was one of the last ones to get one. Yeah,
I think so. And so I could tell you that the first 6 to 8 months of this thing's lifespan, you had to work hard and click a lot to get one of these.
It had to be kind of like your life,
It is no longer nearly as difficult. Still can be challenging. But it is so much more. It's so much easier now to stay on top. All you have to do is follow the right person on Twitter, and it's so much easier to stay on top of it and to get one. And so Frank Clark's point was, if you don't have one by now, you actually don't want one that bad. You're not trying super hard to get one. You just want to see it on the store shelf.
But even if it was though, I don't just stop posting. No one cares. Literally, no one cares that you, random person, don't have a PlayStation. You're not funny. You're not being clever. You're not being interesting. Shut up.
Well, the thing is I do have one, so you're.
How do you really?
Very empathetic.
I don't mean to be unempathetic, but it's I do have one, and a lot of us do, and I'm ready for the future, and let's go.
I am too.
Yeah,
Oh no,
I don't. Yeah, I don't like this take that a lot of us don't have one, so everything should be cross-gen still. It's no, dude.
No,
we're leaving you behind.
Can't do cross-gen anymore.
No, we're leaving you behind. See ya. Sorry.
Just every
upgrade
game
if
right
you
now
need
that's
to.
being.
If you want to upgrade a year from now, out, there'll be some really great games for you whenever you buy that system. Finally,
every game that's coming out right now that's cross-gen, the previous gen is struggling because that's really hard to like try to make it work the way you want it to work on multiple gens. When one, you're trying to hit 60 frames per second, so you got to manipulate everything like graphically to make sure you can still hit 60 frames per second. And then you have the other one, you're like, can we just find a way that it's not 480p and hit 30 frames per second? Like these systems can't handle a lot of the details of these new games. Like
if the shortage were still extreme and I didn't have one, I still want them to start making next gen only stuff and push it forward.
Yeah,
like that's just my
take.
It's
the future, guys. Come on, we gotta move forward.
The future is now, man.
We believe in generations, but now we're just gonna release everything on.
Except we don't. I still think it's crazy that the next Horizon's coming out on PS4 too.
I don't even want to think about what that game looks like or plays like.
It looks gorgeous though. That trailer that they showed looked gorgeous.
It does.
It's fine.
Absolutely.
I'm sure it's
fine.
But it's one of those things. And listen, this is me not knowing. I've never worked in a development shop. I don't know what it's actually like. But I do wonder if they had just focused on PS5, would it be out this holiday? That's all I'm wondering. I'm just wondering if that were the case.
That's a valid concern.
Like it's gotta be a significant amount of work to do everything Derek just described, and there's probably way more than he even was able to touch on. There's probably tons of stuff they have to consider porting it down to a lower
particles and lighting effect. Like there's so many things that they would have to scale down, and I'm sure it's not just like a scaling thing that they like move on a computer screen. I'm sure it's a lot of coding and developing.
Yep.
Teraflops.
Agreed. Well, this is good news for Metroid in general. Metroid Dread has caused a boost in sales for other titles across Nintendo platforms. Wii U charts are seeing.
So people were like, I tried Metroid Dread, it didn't work. Let me buy another game.
Let me buy one of these other ones. That's exactly what it was.
That's what
Metroid Fusion, Zero Mission, and Prime Trilogy and Super Metroid were all in the top 10 on Wii U. And on 3DS, you've got Samus Returns.
I'm more invested in the franchise. I would buy I want the Prime Trilogy to be re-released. I'm with Jesse. They need that one's. I'm more interested in.
By the way, Derek, I've heard they're doing Metroid Prime 1 as a remake instead of a re-release, instead of a trilogy, which might lead to 2 and 3 eventually. But that's what I've heard. That's the rumor right now.
I remember that coming up.
Yeah, I heard that
somewhere.
That'd be cool too, right? If they did one and just released it as a modern version of that game, sure, I'd buy it, especially if we knew 2.
So we can hear everybody complain about the fact that it's $60. I mean, really, guys?
Yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait for that.
Nintendo tax.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'll pay it. I'll happily pay it.
I love the Nintendo tax.
Guys, Animal Crossing New Horizons 2.0 update has this Happy Home Paradise DLC. As Jeff might say, it's a chunky slice of new.
I would never say that about Animal Crossing because who gives a crap?
Yeah, why are we doing Animal Crossing? I'm trying to play Back 4 Blood.
Then go away. Go play your zombies. I'm gonna hang out with my wife.
You are
and explore
very insensitive tonight. Very insensitive.
I'm turning into you. Somebody had to fill the void.
Beta.
Well, I'm trying to be a happier person. So.
All right. Well, listen. I know we have at least 2 Animal Crossing gamers on here. And either of you want to talk through what you saw?
No, I didn't watch it. I played Animal Crossing when it came out. I've got other games I'm playing.
All right. Fair enough.
Are you still playing this game?
I mean, I wanted to humorously list off all of the updates. Maybe in 60 seconds, you can time me if you want.
Do it.
Oh Jesus!
All right, so Brewster,
give this guy a voice. He's an idiot.
Go, Dan.
See, there you go. There's the change that we're looking for.
There it is.
All right, so Brewster will be opening up the Roost Cafe in the museum. So that's exciting. Captain will be taking you to mysterious islands that have raw materials.
That's exciting.
Is this what you wanted, Dan? You knew this was gonna happen.
Harry, why are you reaching into Kyle's screen? What are you doing with your arm over there?
Harry.
I'm trying to hold him during.
Where am I?
This one?
No, hold on.
This
is just going to take longer. This is going to take longer.
Sorry.
Harriet is bringing back 11 new hairstyles, so that's exciting. Sahara and Kix can set up their very own shops on Harv's Island, offering a greater selection. Reese and Cyrus are back to help customize some of your items in new ways. Katrina will be there to reveal your fortune for the day.
They're going to replicate Hurricane Katrina in this game?
Yes. Guys, group stretching is possible at the plaza. Group stretching.
Okay, really? We're doing this?
You can you can change some of the rules about your island, such as opening shops at earlier or late hours.
Get the literal F out of here.
Can I just say something real quick, Dan? You're going to continue, but I just gotta say the only reason that I'm cool with this, because I am bored out of my mind, is because I'm watching Derek get angrier and angrier as you read it.
This is really dumb.
And it is so, because I couldn't care. Like this makes me hate Animal Crossing more than I did already.
Derek, we're halfway there.
Yeah.
Tom,
are you serious? We're still doing it.
60 seconds had to have gone.
What? Holy shit! This is longer than No Time to Die. Oh my god.
We're halfway there, guys. Tom Nook will offer more exterior options for your home, and we'll give you 3 more storage expansions, bringing your maximum storage total from 2,400.
By the way, I looked up that girl, Jeff. She's the one you said she's in the Knives movie.
Keep going, Dan. Keep talking.
She's really hot.
Oh my god.
There will be more uses for.
I'm no longer gay, Daniel.
In the form of cooking. I don't believe you.
Scared the gay out of you.
I don't believe you for a second. Lighting and ceiling decor can be added to your room.
Did you guys see my calves? I was showing off my calves. Did you see it?
The maximum number of bridges can now be increased to 10. So
all right. I'm calling it. We're done.
Thank God. Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
Why would you let it go that long?
All right.
You got to. That was press release me. That was press release me. That's what it was.
That was good. That was good. Dan, I actually really.
Let's just take 60 seconds.
God, look how long you.
Also, the Happy Home Paradise DLC is $24.99. That's the extra.
Did you guys imagine being married to that guy?
They charge extra for this boring crap.
That was amazing.
Oh my god.
I am very nice.
All right, now listen.
I am very nice.
Very nice.
If you want this,
I make sexy time with my wife.
This ridiculously titled the Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack we heard about from them, where now you can get N64 games, Sega Genesis games, and you can get access to this DLC for free. It's pretty much doubling in price. It's actually like a 110% increase, something like that, because now it's going to be $50 for the year for a single person, or a family is up to 80. It used to be a little less than half that. It's still going to be cheaper than your other 2 options, but now it's no longer that much cheaper if you get the others on sale, especially.
Ballpark, yeah.
So it's the price is going up. I personally, unless you're a big N64 and Genesis fan and you haven't already purchased those games elsewhere, I don't see the value here. I'm gonna be honest with you. But that's fine.
Tim, the value is that the Animal Crossing DLC is included in the expansion pass, the $50 expansion.
That is true.
Well,
that is true.
It launches October 25th. I didn't see it noted here, but just want to let you guys know that.
Thanks, buddy.
All right,
you're welcome.
Really
so there's no monthly fee. They only gave you a yearly fee.
No, I think there's a monthly one. I threw in a yearly one.
So 50 a year doesn't sound like it'd be that much monthly. So
it's not. But
I'm game to try it out for a few months.
You can get Xbox Live, or at least you could, and you could also get PSN. I think for close to those prices.
It's 60
on sale, especially you can get them.
That's great.
I want to say Nintendo is like $8 a month or something like that.
That sounds about right. All right, so last 2 things. Gears Tactics developer Splash Damage they're planning a new sci-fi IP. So we don't know what that's going to be. It doesn't sound like it's going to be a Gears Tactics sequel, though. So if Gears Tactics 2 is happening, it's not going to be by the same devs. Side note, they were acquired by Tencent in 2020. They own everything. If you don't know that. Tencent
exactly. China is taking over.
China owns it all. Lastly but not leastly, and I want to find out from you guys if you are purchasing this, the Xbox Series X mini fridge launches in December for $100. Would you spend $100 on this mini fridge?
How many are we talking?
I mean, if I can get one, I'll get it. But
no, the answer is no for everybody.
It's a hard no for Kyle. Dan, would you get this?
I mean, I don't know. I might mod it into a PS5. So
I was gonna say.
Look at his background. Is he gonna buy an Xbox?
You're right. It doesn't match.
Hold on. Ready? Green. There we go. Now it's green. There we go.
Is it?
Yeah.
PlayStation sucks.
Still pretty blue.
That's green.
I would totally get one of these, like Derek said, if they're available. But I'm not interested in like tracking down pre-orders. Apparently open up this week. I'm not
How
gonna
big are
skip
they?
work
Can
and
they
family.
carry like 4 cans? Like how big is
12.
this thing?
So it can hold 12 cans of drink.
Oh
12
wow,
pack.
okay.
A
I'm
12
glad you
pack.
had that number loaded. That's good.
It's very expensive. I understand, it's a cool little idea or whatever, but it's very expensive for the size
Does it
of
play
fridge.
games?
It'll be. It does not. Sadly.
Yes.
Okay, dang. Alright.
It does have quick resume. I don't know
It
how that
does
works.
come with Animal Crossing DLC though.
You know what's cool is you
Yes.
can open up to
Yes.
12 different cans, put them back in the fridge, and then resume any of them at any time you want.
Wow, that's really something. Might be
yeah.
flatter than before.
That's how it works.
That was definitely a dad joke.
That was a dad joke. I would totally get one of these if it was available. But it's also Target, I believe, is the main retailer in the U.S. where you can pre-order these if that's your thing. So that's happening this week.
Yeah,
All right.
it's exclusive to Target, which I thought was stupid.
And then other countries, it's there's other retailers. You have to look it up. There's a bunch of different retailers.
Targetto, hey.
Targetto.
Guys, listen, thanks for
Yeah, I'm
talking. I
just
know it's
gonna
been over
say,
2 hours. It's a long one. That's
I
what she
can't
said.
wait till next week when we get to talk about what happened at DC Fandom, which is happening this weekend. We get to talk about what is it?
Batman.
The Suicide Squad game and the what's the other game?
The Gotham Knights.
Gotham Knights.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
I
to
thought
see what
isn't
reveal there.
Kill
It's-
Superman the Suicide Squad game going to be there?
Yeah,
too?
the Suicide Squad game. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think they might show gameplay this time.
And then we're
That's what
also
I'm
getting a
hoping.
new Batman movie trailer too, right?
Batman movie trailer.
Yeah, you
Yes.
can already
Check
see
out those posters.
there's a teaser that reveals
Him
a little bit more
talking.
of his voice.
He talks a little bit like Batman.
Yeah.
All right.
Swear to me.
A little bit of a boner.
Nope, it's
Not
not like
gonna lie.
that.
Swear to
Promise.
me.
Promise.
I don't know who you are.
Tell me about the bears and the rabbits.
All right, guys. Have a great weekend. Thanks for listening. See ya.